you paid them at?
Yeah. So I pay them, but I don't pay them a flat fee. I don't pay them like, oh, you have $200,000.
Before, I have heard you say on your TikTok live that you paid them $200,000, that they didn't pay you $200,000, and they were two different corporations.
Then you must be mistaken.
Oh, I'm mistaken. So you don't get no money from them.
Correct.
I don't get any money from them. $200,000 is just what you paid them. Yeah. Correct.
I also just find it. No. I never. There was no $200,000 paid. I didn't pay them $200,000. I don't know. There was no $200,000 in either direction. I also just find it funny that this entire conversation we've had, you have not defended your support of Donald Trump. Instead, you've engaged in just pure conspiracy, which is unsurprising.
So it ain't on the internet that you posted got $200,000. That's conspiracy.
I don't know who you're listening to that is telling you that I got paid all this money. And as I've said repeatedly,
you know the names of the two places.
If I was at 21, 22 years old, if I was at 21, 22 years old getting $200,000, oh my God, that'd make my life so much easier. I could just no college debt or nothing to think about when it comes to funding college, rent easy, food easy. My life would be much better. But unfortunately,
you're right.
Not the case.
It is. You're right. It is. Now we're telling the truth. I appreciate that. But you come on here by saying it would be so much easier. Media and the other one.
Excuse me, numbnuts. Hey, excuse me, numbnuts. Did you just hear what I just said? It would be so much easier.
Listen to me, Rainbow Boy. You don't know which way you want to go. Don't talk to me rude.
I know which way I want to go. I know who I like.
Well, you need to make your mind up and quit trying to insult me.
I've made my mind up as to who I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to women.
Well, when you quit painting your fingernails, then you tell me.
I know. I do bite my nails.
I have saw your fingernails painted in the past. In your little
I've never painted my fingernails because first of all, I bite them.
But you don't be rude to me. You'll figure it out quick.
If I run into you?
You do not be rude to me. You'll figure that out quick.
I'm going to talk to you however I damn well please. If you're coming into here and you're spreading conspiracy.
I have not said one smart word to you, young man.
You're right. That's the first thing you've said that I agree with. You have not said one smart word in this conversation. Mike, thank you.
Not be a smart aleck.
You've not said one smart thing. Yeah, look at this thing. I appreciate that. You haven't said one smart thing in this entire conversation. I totally agree with that. We're on the same page now. Now you're talking.
If you're so big behind that screen, give me an address and then you'll talk.
I would not want to stand within 10 miles of you, 100 miles.
That's the reason you stand behind that screen and talk a lot, because you won't do it in front of somebody's face.
Oh, no, I would say the same thing to you as I hear.
I just
don't want to be near such a strange man. I don't want to be near such a strange man. Why are you asking for my address? I'm quite frankly not interested.
I know you're not, because you want to get behind the screen and talk and jibber jabber.
I don't want you.
And you're lying to everybody that's following you. You got proven wrong that Kamala was a nobody and she got beat in an election.
What you just said is not a coherent sentence. What you just said is not a coherent sentence.
You're incapable of stringing together
a coherent sentence, which, once again, unsurprising.
Did you lie to everybody how good she was and how she was going to beat Donald Trump?
I think Kamala Harris is great.
Did she beat Donald Trump?
No, she did not beat Donald Trump.
Oh, she lost.
Did Joe Biden beat Donald Trump in 2020?
If they were so good, why did they lose?
Hey, buddy. Did Joe Biden beat Donald Trump in 2020?
Well, there's people that says he did, and there's people that says he didn't, but there's 15,000 votes that come up short this year.
Hold on, be quiet. I really don't need to hear you speak right now. Do you see the difference between me and you? I'm willing to accept an election result, even if it doesn't go my way. I just ask you, did Biden win in 2020? The objective answer is yes, he did.
In my opinion, he did.
Well, some people say this, some people say that. You're living in fantasy land. You're crazy. You're out of your goddamn mind. You're dancing in fields of unicorns and rainbows. Everybody else is on.
Where'd you 15 million votes go for Kamala?
What was that?
What happened to
him? When you talk, when I'm talking, I can't hear you, and then I have to hear your voice more, which is very saddening to me. I don't need to hear your voice more.
Oh, it's upset.
But please go ahead, repeat.
What happened to your 15 million votes?
What happened to 15 million? What 15 million votes?
Short from Joe Biden to Kamala Harris. She was short 15 million votes.
So if you read things more than the Hungry Caterpillar, you would know that this is not the case. Kamala Harris is currently behind Joe Biden's in terms of popular vote total by around, if my math is correct, 7 million votes right now. I'm looking
7 million.
right here. And Donald Trump's vote total is now below.
How many votes did Joe Biden get? Was it 81 million?
Got 81 million.
How many votes Kamala get?
She's currently sitting at rounding up 74 million.
67?
There's still 2% of votes left to be counted. Most of them are coming from California, which is blue.
Ain't it 67? Ain't it 67?
Where are you getting 67 from?
Off my websites where I've checked them. Where are you getting yours from?
Yeah. I don't know what websites you're visiting. I quite frankly don't want to know. But I'm looking at the New York Times right now.
So what are you saying? 10 million votes short?
Nope.
Let's go with 10 million. So what happened to the 10 million?
Just do me a favor. What's 81 minus 74?
That'd be about 11 million. But there's
what the fuck did you just say?
What did you say? 81 minus what?
Did you just say that 81 minus 74 is 11? Bro, what the fuck? Bro, what?
No, that wouldn't be but 7 million.
But there we go. On the second
she's
try,
missing. She's missing 11. She's missing 15 million. Even though your numbers, I don't know.
Hold on.
Even though, let's say 7 million. I won't go real short. What happened to the 7 million votes?
If she got 74 million votes and Biden got 81 million votes, how on earth could she be missing 15 million votes? This is MAGA math, everybody. MAGA math. This is what they want to teach in our schools. MAGA math.
Right.
Please.
You want to talk about what they want to teach in Democrats to kids?
What do they want to teach to the kids? What is it?
You don't know what they teach the kids? The books and the medicines they let them get on and stuff?
Yeah, please, and expose.
You don't know. You're going to play dumb because you know your party does it.
Yeah, okay. Please expose the truth to us. Go ahead.
So does kids get to take transgender meds?
Do kids get to take transgender meds? No.
No, you don't. No, it's a lie. You don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I mean, what medications are you talking about specifically? Because there's hormone therapy that can be available.
I got to specifically say everything where I can get banned. You think I'm at dumb?
Hold on. Be quiet. There's hormone therapy that can be available to minors, but that's reversible. So there's nothing that's permanent that is given to minors.
And there ain't no possibility for an operation either, right? Even if a doctor agrees, there's no possibility for operation.
It's incredibly, and I mean like incredibly rare.
Real rare,
that receives any surgery connected to them being trans.
It's just real rare, ain't it, brother?
It's incredibly rare.
It's real rare.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Like if a doctor, a parents, a patient, and a psychologist all come to an agreement that a surgery would make a child's life better, why would you want the government to intervene in that decision?
It can make a child's life better at 6 and 8 and 10-year-old.
Except that surgery doesn't happen for 6, 8, and 10-year-olds.
There's no age limit on it. So don't talk.
We're talking about these very rare surgeries. They're happening for like people who are 17.
Show me an age limit on that. You say there's age limit? I want to see your proof.
Hey, buddy, if you keep talking, nobody can hear you, and I can't hear you. It's just an impossibility, and I promise nobody wants to hear your voice more than we actually do. So I don't want you to say the same thing twice. So listen very carefully. It's incredibly rare that minors get surgery, and it's not happening to 6 or 8 or 10-year-old. Nothing like that. In these cases, which are incredibly rare, it's mostly happening to people who are almost
just like
adults.
I thought. Y'all gotta flag me. Y'all gotta flag me.
This is not coherent English. I'm sorry. This is just not coherent English, what this guy's just talking about right now. Just not coherent. Did he just leave or did he get banned? I don't know what happened to him. Did he leave or get banned? I wasn't paying attention. To be honest. Mimi, thanks for the $2. Harry, this is elder abuse. I mean, practically, right? Molly, thanks for the $2. Day 3 of sending a cheesy pickup line. Are you a blue wave? Because you just swept me. You just swept me off my feet. I like that. That's good. P.S. Give me a chance. Molly, you're on a streak here. I don't think you've missed yet. Trista, thanks for the $5. If you were a Cobra Kai tournament, I'd love to show you some mercy. Golly. Yo, Trista, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Michelle, thanks for the $5. Who's your favorite NFL team? Mine is the Bengals. I'm a Giants fan, so it's tough out here. Natalie, thanks for the $5. Definitely not from the DNC. Well, actually, Natalie, maybe you are. Maybe that's how we do it. We funnel it through you. to me and Parker and everybody else. Allison, thanks for the $1. Hey, Harry, just want to let you know I'm looking forward to supporting you through your presidency in 2048 as your first lady. We have a bright future ahead of us. In case anyone was wondering, Harry Sisson lookalike contest at my house. Love you, Gorge Diva. Golly. 2048 sounds like a good year to run for president in my view as well. I agree, and I appreciate you. Virginia, thanks for the $2. Your eyes are looking extra pretty today. Sorry I couldn't give more. I want to support as much as possible. Virginia, you just being here means a lot. So save your money, you know what I mean? Invest in yourself. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here, Virginia. Joseph, and thank you for the compliment. Joseph, thanks for the $5 for defending democracy. I appreciate you, Joseph. Thanks for being here, man. Lily, thanks for the $1. Still haven't gotten paid yet. Lily from MS. Lily, good to see you. I always appreciate you. And Cameron, thanks for the $1. I believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of you. Golly, bro. Golly. I appreciate that. All right, everybody. Let me know if you're MAGA in the chat. I will bring you up and you can tell me why you voted for Donald Trump. It's silly, to be frank. Venmo, Cash App in the link in the bio if you want to support the live. And drop a follow if you haven't already. Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, all the social media platforms in the link in my bio if you want to support on other platforms. All right. All right, let's see. Who do we got here? Who do we got here, man? I'm MAGA and we are winners, says Brian. Well, I don't know if he has live access. I'd love to get that guy up here because that guy sounds like a real treat. He doesn't have live access, so I can't actually invite him. Which is a shame because I would have loved for him to get up here and tell us why. Why he says that, but it is what it is. Let's see here. Trevor, I can't invite Trevor either. Is he in the box? Oh, there he is. Let's give Trevor a chance. He's spamming MAGA. You know what I mean? Let's give him a shot. Got to give people a shot. What's up, Trevor? What's up, man?
What's going on, bro?
How old are you, bro?
23.
23, yeah. What state you vote in?
Missouri.
All right. So why'd you vote for Trump, man?
Kamala Harris. Kamala, however you say it. She's just way too liberal for me.
Oh, but Trump's just like moderate enough.
Well, Trump wasn't my first pick, but he's better than Harris.
So how is Trump better than Kamala Harris in your view?
Whenever we can look at the place we're in right now with Biden, right? And whenever she gets asked a question what she would do different, she said absolutely nothing.
So what would you have wanted her to do different in a possible presidency of her? Like what decision by Biden are you like, yeah, I wish she would have, or, I wish somebody would have acted differently?
Literally everything that Biden's doing right now.
Really? So when Biden made a historic investment in infrastructure, the largest since Eisenhower's highway system, investing in new roads and bridges, removing every lead pipe in America so everybody has clean drinking water, expanding Wi-Fi access, things like that, you're against that. You wish she would have acted differently?
Flint, Michigan has clean drinking water right now?
Flint, Michigan has significantly better water than they did 10 years ago. Yeah, like that has been worked on a lot and gotten a lot of investment by Michigan and by the federal government as well. So yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly the kind of crisis that we're wanting to avoid by this infrastructure bill, by removing every single lead pipe in America. So that's something that Joe Biden did. Are you saying that you would want somebody to act differently and not do that?
Well, why wouldn't he take the fluoride out of the water too?
Why would we take fluoride out of water?
Why wouldn't he? Why didn't he?
Yeah, why would we?
What do you mean, why would we?
Why would we take fluoride out of water?
Do you know what fluoride does to you?
I'm asking you, why would we take fluoride out of water?
Look it up.
Can you please elaborate as to why you support this? This is just a position you brought up. So why would we take fluoride out of water? Are you like an RFK Jr. freak or what?
What's an RFK Jr. freak?
Meaning you support RFK Jr. and
I think he's a good pick for the job, but
why is RFK Jr. a good pick for? Okay, let's address a couple of things here. First and foremost, tell me why you want fluoride taken out of the water. What's your objection to fluoride?
Fluoride is not good for you. It's linked to cancer.
It does not have links to cancer. It does not have links to cancer. When you consume it in water, it does not have links to cancer. No.
When you consume it in water.
Yeah, so there are certain chemicals out there that if you consume in large amounts, then it can be carcinogenic. But fluoride in water when it's used for cleaning, no, it doesn't have any links to cancer. I don't know what you're talking about.
So just because it's in water, right? It can't link to cancer.
No, I'm saying that in the amounts that we consume it, there's no link to cancer.
In the amounts that we consume it?
Correct. I don't even think in bigger amounts that there are links to cancer, but it's not carcinogenic in the way that we consume it in water.
Different amount of water, right?
What was that?
People don't drink the same amount of water every day, right?
Yeah, but unless you're drinking like tons of water, like legitimately tons of water, you're fine. Also, if you're drinking like enough water in which the fluoride is dangerous to you, which again, I don't even think it's dangerous in large amounts, or large amounts of water, you're going to be dead from over consuming of water anyway. So.
All right. So yeah, you basically just admitted that it can give you cancer, and it is bad.
No. You don't understand what I'm saying. So there are certain chemicals out there that if you consume it in certain amounts, it's not carcinogenic, but if you consume it in high amounts, it can be carcinogenic. So if you eat, and this is not an example of a chemical, but for example, if the only thing that you eat in your diet is red meat, you're at a higher risk of cancer because red meat has a link to cancer. But if you eat like a certain amount of red meat, it can be good for you and it doesn't have any major correlation to cancer, right? That's an example. So in moderation, like everything in life, it's fine. But again, I'm confused as to why you want fluoride out of the water. You haven't provided like any evidence as to why we get fluoride out of the water, or why that's a good reason or a good reason for getting fluoride out of the water. There's no reason to do that.
Why should?
And I also want to know why you think RFK Jr. is a good nominee, but we can talk about that in a second as well.
So what do you want me to answer first?
Either one. You can pick.
Actually, do you know who James Draws is?
Do I know who is?
James Draws. Do you know who that guy is?
No.
Oh, well, you should look him up. I think you should respond to him.
I don't know who that is, but okay.
All right.
So, do you want to just leave it there? Or are you gonna?
Again, actually.
What was that? What was that?
Can you ask your question again?
Yeah. Why do you think RFK Jr. is a good candidate for HHS secretary?
I mean, look at the dude. He's fucking shredded, man. How old is he? Like 70 something?
What the fuck? So is being like in good shape now a qualification to run health agencies?
Yeah, I think he knows what he's doing.
Really?
Yeah. Look at the person.
That's like the dumbest. I gotta be honest. That's like the dumbest thing you've said all night, and you've said some pretty bad things. So just like being in shape, being in shape doesn't mean that you know anything about medicine or anything in the field of medicine. RFK Jr. has never practiced medicine, never worked in medicine, never been trained in medicine, never worked at a health agency, and you want him to run all of our health agencies in the United States? Doesn't that sound like a bad idea?
Yeah, because I don't think drug companies should be allowed to advertise. I think that's kind of insane.
Why?
Because I mean, you see one after like in every commercial, right? You're watching a football game. Yeah, when they go to break, you're gonna see a fucking medicine commercial.
Yeah, but don't you think that's infringing on a business's right to do business?
I think it's a scare tactic for some people to get just like, oh yeah, you need this here.
So you're like, here's the funny thing, like a lot of people that are MAGA like expose themselves as anti-capitalist because capitalists would be like, I think that like healthcare companies should be able to advertise. And a lot of this money, the money that they make from advertising, they put into R&D for their goods. They're always trying to, get the next best medicine because it is a business at the end of the day. So you're like to a degree anti-capitalist. I just find that funny.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Next best medicine. When I go on a Pfizer after watching Thursday Night Football and seeing the next, get your next COVID shot. Like what?
Yeah. It's people like it's like. I don't want to say something mean. But
Go
like,
ahead, say it. Harry, I'm not a snowflake. I'm not a liberal.
No, it's not. It's not because I care about what you think. It's not because I care about what you think. It's just almost like, it's almost like you just want to get sick or something like that. It's almost like you're like you don't believe companies like Pfizer, or you don't buy into things that Pfizer does.
Harry, if I get
like for
sick,
no reason at all, for no reason. That's the nicest way that I can put it. There was something else I wanted to say, but I won't.
Like I get fucking sick. I'm not gonna go to the doctor so they can give me some medicine, but I'm just gonna feel better in 3 days anyway. Like what?
So if you got cancer, what would you do?
Okay, if I got cancer, that's a whole different story.
Well, why? You trust the doctors when it comes to cancer, but something else you don't trust the doctors?
Like, how do we jump from COVID to cancer?
Because it's a comparison. It's an analogy, my man. Comparison. It's a comparison. No, it's a comparison of logic. You're saying, I don't trust the doctor for this, but I trust the doctor for this. Why do you trust the doctors to treat you for cancer, but you don't trust the doctors when it comes to treatment for like COVID, for example?
So do you think we have a cure for cancer? Yes or no? No.
No.
All right.
Do you?
Hasn't there been people that saying they've like had a cure for cancer and then they just end up dying?
No.
Yes.
No. What the fuck? Where are you getting your news from? God, this is so painful to talk to people like you. No, because think about it. If somebody had a cure for cancer, they'd be the first trillionaire. If a company like Pfizer had a cure for cancer patented, they would be the wealthiest company in the entire world. So, and also, if you just understand cancer and how difficult it is to actually treat, you would know that it's basically impossible to have a cure for it. Sure, we can have treatments, but a cure is at least not now possible.
Harry, so you just like mentioned Pfizer. So you trust these drug companies, right? Like you trust them with all your heart. Everything they say is completely true.
I don't. I mean, like I trust them to produce good medicine. Yeah.
So then if they had to back in the day, I forgot the drug company or whatever you want to call it, but they had to go. They got like sued.
So there have been drug companies have been sued before. Yeah.
Yeah, for doing some fucked up shit.
No company is perfect.
Some fucked up shit, Harry.
No company is perfect. Like I don't know what you're expecting. You're expecting healthcare companies to never do anything wrong for their entire existence. It's like, yeah, of course companies are gonna mess up and they're gonna get sued. But yeah, when these companies are they've created some of the best medicines that we have. They've innovated. Yeah, I don't have a problem with taking like a Pfizer product. There's also like so much regulation around what is on the market and what's not that it's like impossible to get, at least now. Previously, the regulation was much more lax. So like in the 50s, the 40s, whatever, 60s, regulation was really lax when it came to medicine. But now it's so strict, so regulated that it's like impossible to get a medicine out there that hasn't been extensively tested on a large group of people. So are you asking me like, do I trust the FDA to do their job? Do I trust Pfizer to engage in good faith? Yes, I do.
What about COVID-19? What about the vaccine that we got?
What about it?
It wasn't tested on people before it came out? I mean...
Yes, it was. You can look at the approval process that the COVID-19 vaccine went through for Moderna, for Pfizer, on the FDA website. It was emergency approval, so some things overlapped. But approval for it, along with documentation and production, just overlapped with in-person tests. But of course, people were tested on before it. I mean, for months, as somebody
let me ask you this. So COVID-19 comes out, right? Yeah. The virus, not the vaccine.
Comes out. I don't know what you mean by comes out, but yes.
Well, they created it, right?
No. Okay. Well, now you have to go because if we're gonna do shit like that, I can't talk to you. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't have a conversation with somebody like that. Yo, Melissa, thanks for the $1. Harry, I appreciate you. Keep up your good work. You too, Melissa. You too. Keep up your good work. I appreciate you. Lauren, thanks for the $5. Every day you don't make a Discord, a zygote die. Wow. Jeez Louise. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll get on that right now. Hope, thanks for the $2. Are you taking GF applications? Link in bio. No, I'm joking. Amber, thanks for the $10. Keep it up, Harry. You're doing great and we need you. Harry for Prez. Amber, I appreciate you. Come serve in the administration. Come serve in the administration. Yo, Emma, thanks for the $10. Please don't read out loud. You got it. 1 second. Oh, Emma, I appreciate that so much. That's incredibly kind. I'm gonna like that payment right there. I appreciate you. Thank you, Emma. Oh, shout out Emma. I know you got. I won't read the message out loud, but it's a nice one. Allison, thanks for the $5. My favorite thing is flirting with Harry over Venmo, knowing every time you're responsible. Golly, I'm gonna need someone to make a Harry Sisson Golly compilation. And once again, I love you. You're gorgeous, democratic diva. Somebody might be on it already. I don't know. I appreciate you, Allison. Kim, thanks for the $5. Thanks for all that you do. They're finding the fake news about you on a biased Daily Caller. So sad. Keep up the hard work. Oh yeah, the Daily Caller that's like connected to Tucker Carlson. That makes sense. Jasmine, thanks for the $1. Thanks for continuing to spread information in these challenging times. Please take a look at my GoFundMe. I work with underserved communities. I'm trying to further my education. Anything helps. The link didn't pop up there. I can't click it, so maybe put it in the comments, but I would love to look at your GoFundMe. Absolutely. Shelly, thanks for the $10. Loving that flannel. If only I were 40 years younger. I had to say it. Golly. Yo, Shelly, I appreciate the $10. I appreciate the flannel compliment. That's I appreciate you. Anyway, hold on. If you're MAGA, let me know. I'll bring you up and we can talk. Oh God, look at this guy. Bring this guy up. Bring Jack. I just invited you. Colleen, $5. Harry. Oh man. Harry, I want you so bad. Colleen, I don't know how to respond to this stuff anymore, man. I just don't know how to respond. Colleen, I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. You're very kind. And thanks for being a fighter for democracy. Audrey, thanks for the $1. Hope to DNC you at my place later. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Now that's good. No, that's good. I like that one. that was actually really good. Take notes. That was a really good one. Jasmine, thanks for the $1. Hey, Harry. Please shout out my GF Caitlin ICU nurse. She didn't have a good day and was hoping you'd go live tonight. Glad I put her on. We love everything you do. Texas for Sisson. Yo, Caitlin and Jasmine, I appreciate you guys. And an ICU nurse? Are you kidding me? We love our nurses. God, especially ICU nurses. You do so much for so many people. So shout out Caitlin. Shout out Jasmine. I appreciate you guys. And keep fighting. I know not every day is going to be a good day, but you're persevering one step in front of the other. Corinne, thanks for the $50 on Venmo. That's insane. I appreciate you so much. She included a lovely message. Thanks for keeping America educated. Keep it up. Corinne, thank you so much for being part of that effort as well. Look, it's going to take all of us, as I always say, young, old, or I should say, young and young at heart, and every background, every race, all that stuff. So Corinne, thank you for being part of that change, and thank you for supporting. Give some W's for her in the chat. She's amazing. We love her. Sasha, thanks for the $20. Resist these oh my gosh. I can't read that on live. Remember Clinton. Sasha, I appreciate you for the $20. Deborah, thanks for the $5. I appreciate you so much. I don't know how you debate these MAGAs. They come on here and make complete fools of themselves, and how you keep it mature and honest. This is why I follow you and watch your lives. Keep being the 100 you are. If I was your parent, I'd be so proud. Deborah, I'm proud of you, and thank you for being here, and thank you for your support. Got to keep debating them. Got to keep spreading the message, even though the election is concluded. But anyway, I appreciate everybody. Venmo, Cash App, link in bio if you want to support the live. Drop a follow if you haven't already. Double tap the screen. All that good stuff. You know it by now. My man, talk to me. Why?
Why? You know what? You know Trump won, right?
What?
You know Trump won the election, right?
What are you talking about? This is news to me.
Well, I'm just wondering what you're still doing on here.
Yeah, of course. We all know. See, again, this is the difference here, that Democrats accept results of elections, Republicans don't. So I'm up here saying, Trump won the election. I know that.
Pennsylvania, he accepts.
What was that?
You mean like Bob Casey in Pennsylvania?
What are you talking about with Bob Casey in Pennsylvania?
He's not conceding McCormick. You know that?
Well, yeah,
right?
there was still like 100,000 votes to count. And he's going to concede when whatever it's called. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, well, no, they're counting the votes in Bucks County, but I mean, if you want to talk about, Republicans, denying elections, I mean, what about Hillary in 16?
So Hillary conceded the election the next day. She gave an entire speech about how she wanted Donald Trump to succeed, and she offered him whatever support she could give to him. So I don't know what you're talking about. She conceded the election the next day. To this day, Donald Trump has still not conceded the 2020 election. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, listen, I just wanted to know, are you the top or the bottom with Dean and Parker and all them? How's that work?
I always find it funny, or not funny. I always find it strange when people like that say stuff, because it's like, are you thinking about me, Parker, Dean, and Chris and whatever engaging in intercourse?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the four of you guys all standing together, I mean, it's pretty.
So wait, just to be clear, you're thinking of like you're thinking of young men engaging in intercourse. Don't you see how that's like a little strange?
Or listen to you talk. I mean,
are you making an announcement or something? I mean, what's going on here? Like that, I don't think about that stuff about other people. That's kind of strange, don't you think?
I mean, I got to come on here every night and flip by you and listen to your bullshit.
You do not have to do that.
Well,
can we just acknowledge the fact that he just openly said that he thinks about me, Parker, Dean, and Chris engaging in intercourse? That's so strange.
Let me ask you a question.
What on
this
earth?
Is your first election, right?
What the hell is going on?
What are you, 21? So this is your first presidential election.
No, I voted in 2020.
Like, how does it feel?
I voted in 2020.
You voted in 2020. Okay.
Yeah, I voted. So the first person I voted for was President Joe Biden, who beat your guy like a goddamn drum. He's 1-0 against your guy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what happened to like 10 million votes? You think 10 million people just didn't come out this year?
There were not 10 million votes missing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, do the math. What did he get? 81 million, and Trump got 74.
Yep.
Okay, so what are we at? 70, 71 and 74, 75?
No, we're
like
at
that?
76.5 and 74.
Okay, well, what happened to all the people that didn't come out? Where are their votes at?
Well, votes are still being counted, and not every election is going to have the exact same amount of voters, obviously. So there are some elections where more people vote, and then I know this is gonna take you by storm. There are some elections where less people vote. Oh my God.
How much money do you make doing this? I'm just curious. I mean, do you need any help?
Like $1 trillion a second. Like Taylor Swift just gives, like all the money that Taylor Swift gives me, she just like funnels it to me instead. She just like gets it all to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
What was that? I think.
I'm sorry. Your mom just came in the room here.
Oh my God. How old are you? How old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah.
I'm 37 years old.
You're okay. Oh, that's so bad. So you're 37, and on this live, you've acknowledged that you think about young men engaging in intercourse, and you also just made a mom joke. You're 37. You're 30. What do you? Don't you have a wife and kids, occupation to go to tomorrow? What's going on here, buddy? You're 37.
I'm
you just made a mom
like
joke,
man. Look.
You never left the playground. You never left the middle school playground. But I bet that one rocked in 6th grade. That one really hit home.
It did, man. You missed out. Look at you. You're getting all flustered. Every time you get flustered, look at you.
I feel great right now. I'm not the one who's revealing things about myself on a live stream unintentionally. That's not me. That is you, though. Unfortunately for you, though. But yeah. So, do you have anything else? Like, do you have anything of substance you want to talk about, or did you just come up here to like do this?
I don't know. What do you want to debate me on?
I mean, the prompt is right there. Why do you like Trump?
Why wouldn't you like Trump?
That's a great answer. Oh, scholar of our time, Albert Einstein over here, ladies and gentlemen. I hear he has a 160 IQ. My God. So why do you like Trump?
Because he's against the establishment. He's an outsider.
Uh-huh. So the really wealthy billionaire who was friends with Epstein and has all of these wealthy people in politics that give him money is anti-establishment.
He's not a politician.
He is definitionally a politician. He's either been running or in office for the past 8 years.
And I voted for him every time.
And you can vote for him every time. That's your right as an uninformed individual. But it doesn't change the fact that he is not an outsider. He's certainly not a politician anymore. In 2016, you could run with that. You could say, oh, he's not a politician. I like him, which is still a bad reason. But this man has been in politics for 8 years now. At the conclusion of his presidency, it'll be 12. So you can't any longer say that he's not a politician. I'm sorry.
Okay, maybe you could classify him as a politician now. But he ruffles everyone's feathers, and I love it so much.
Why is that a good thing?
Why is it a good thing? Because too many people are making money. They're how do you say it? There's too much money going out that isn't accounted for, and everyone's making money off it. Like all these people, they ain't politicians because they want to serve the country. Maybe at first, but then they get a taste of the money, and it's like an influence type thing. If you follow me,
no, I'm not following you at all.
Okay, how do people when they get into Congress or Senate or anything, they make $100,000 a year, end up at the end of a 4 or 6 year term having $1 million?
So a lot of these people
add up.
A lot of these people write books or they do speaking engagements, which makes a lot of money. If somebody sells, like Bernie Sanders, for example, he's the first person that come to mind that's still actively in Congress. He has written a couple of best-selling New York Times books or number one bestsellers on the New York Times list. And surprise, surprise, that makes you a lot of money. When you write a number one best-selling book, you make a lot of money as a result of that book. So he made a lot of money through doing stuff like that. Both Republicans and Democrats do speaking engagements. And for example, like Obama was president, but if he does a speaking engagement, obviously his cost per speaking engagement is very high because, God, for fuck's sake, he's Obama, right? So you make a lot of money through that. And he wrote a #1 best-selling book, and Michelle Obama wrote a #1 best-selling book. So it's like, of course they're going to make money.
I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, you got some people writing books, but I mean, listen, trust me, there's too much lobbying going on. You know, how do I put it?
You put things so eloquently, so I'm eager. Go ahead. You're just going to stop talking all of a sudden? You know, we can still hear you, right? Like, we know you're right there just like listening to your phone. You're silent. You know that, right? I just heard you breathe. Do you want me to just like drop you down? Yeah. Would that make you feel better? I'll take care of it for you. Don't worry, buddy. You're good. I gotcha. The silent tactic is always funny to me. It's like, we can still hear you breathe. You know what I mean? Like, if you just stop talking, we can hear the noise in the background. What is wrong with these people? That guy was insane. Yo, Terrell, thanks for the $5. I appreciate you. $6. I appreciate that. And you also included a GoFundMe link, but I can't click on Cash App for some reason. But I appreciate that. And I will try to, maybe I'll copy and paste it. Addie, thanks for the $1 as well, saying love you. I love you back, Addie. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here and continuing to support. It means the world. I hope you know that. Jenny, thanks for the third. Oh my God, Jenny, you're too kind. Thanks for the $35 on Cash App. You didn't include a message, but understand that I appreciate you, Jenny. Can we get some W's for Jenny in the chat? $35 is crazy. I appreciate you. Shout out Jenny. Shout out everybody that's supporting the live. You guys are amazing. Zariah, thanks for the $1 saying nice flannel. I appreciate that. It is flannel season after all. We're getting there, so got to break them out. Sarah, thanks for the $5. As someone who works at a cancer biotech, keep it up. Insurance companies are another story. Well, that's true. Yeah, I think that's what people conflate. Like, healthcare companies are not the same as insurance companies. You know. So anyway, but thank you for working at as a cancer biotech, or at a cancer biotech location. That's important work. So Justin, thanks for the $10. Dang, clearly you got next level Riz. Haha, keeping awesome, man. Justin, trust me, it's not the case. It's not the case. I don't have any. I don't got it, man. I don't got it. I bet you probably have more. You probably have more. Tyler, thanks for the $1. I'd like to swear you in as my chief executive boyfriend. Well, Tyler, I hate to break the news, but I'm a generic straight white guy. I'm as basic as they come. You can find, you walk out of the streets of like any major city, you see somebody that looks exactly like me. It's generic, man. Sharon, thanks for the $25 saying you being you. Sharon, thank you for continuing to support the live. You're always supporting the live. I appreciate you being here. It means a lot. It means a lot. I hope you know that. It's truly very kind. Shout out Sharon. W's for Sharon in the chat. Mimi, thanks for the $2. For MAGA, the closet is glass. You said it. Alicia, thanks for the Alicia, thanks for the $5 from Taylor Swift. That's how we funnel it. Everybody, MAGA, you heard it here first. That's how we funnel it in. Molly, thanks for the $1. Where can I apply to be your +1 to the DNC in 2028? Oh man, I hope they have I hope I'm invited back. That'd be cool. Jessica, thanks for the $5. Late 30s cis het girl. Jack is the reason I stay off dating apps. Major ick. Major. Yeah. See. Yeah. Listen, I don't know if that guy's still here, but take notes, buddy. Sydney, thanks for the $1. Thank you for everything. I just got off FT from my friend who's stationed in Hawaii. She gets deployed in a couple of months, and we're both really scared because of him being in office. Well, tell her that I appreciate her. I just choked on air. I appreciate her service, and the fact that she's out there and getting deployed. Can be very scary, obviously, with Trump coming into office. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys both. Faye, thanks for the $1. Hi, Harry. I love you. You've helped me with my post-election depression and having encouraged me to get up every day and stay in the fight. Thank you. Well, Faith, you've inspired me too. I hope you know that it's a team effort here. It's a team effort here. So I appreciate you, Faith. Thanks for the $1. All right, Smokey, come here, buddy. Come here. Venmo, Cash App, link in bio. If you want to support the live, drop a follow if you haven't already. Double tap the screen. You know the drill. All that good stuff. All right, what's up, man?
Yeah, I got a couple questions on some things that you guys might have a better answer on for the Biden administration.
Okay.
Yeah, so as far as like the Hawaii fires went, how do you think the support was for Hawaii at that time?
Really good. Really good. The mayor of the local area in Maui and the governor of Hawaii, both came out publicly with the president actually and said that they got everything that they requested immediately. That an emergency declaration was approved way beforehand by President Biden, and that hundreds of millions of dollars have poured into Maui for a variety of different efforts. You can also find everything that the White House has done on whitehouse.gov for Maui. There's a whole fact sheet.
Do you think that there could have been more done for it though?
I don't see how that would be possible given the restraints that are put on the president. I don't see how that could have been done.
I guess this is where the debate begins then, because all the outpour for the the support of Ukraine. So this is where the debate's going to start, right? A lot of people believe the money that's going out towards Ukraine could have been benefited more if some of that money was going towards the Hawaii fires, in support of the American people of our own country here. What do you believe should have been done? If you were in his shoes, and your own people were hurting, would you try to fund your own people before supporting the war in Ukraine? What would you put forward first?
Well, they're two different situations, and
right.
We're not sending money to Ukraine. We're sending them old weapons primarily that are sitting in our reserves. So I don't know how 900,000.
Can I real quick? Sorry to cut you off. So a lot of the comments here are saying, why can't you do both? That's not the question. I want to make this very clear. The question is, who would you support first and more? That's kind of the big thing.
But it doesn't have to. It's a bad question because it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be would you support them or would you support them? It's why couldn't we do both?
You can do both. But no, definitely you can do both right now. I'm not supportive of the amount that's going out of the United States. I am in more support of more money going towards the American people in the current state. I mean, this isn't just the fires on Hawaii. I mean, this could be, for the veterans or the homeless population or whatever it may be. A lot of the question here right now, why people voted for Donald Trump, they do believe that this money will be sourcing more for the people here in the United States than outsourcing. I think that is a good debate topic.
No, I don't. I think it's a nonsensical topic when you break it down, because as I was just saying, what we're sending to Ukraine is primarily old weapons. So I don't know how a $900,000 taxpayer funded missile that we built 20 years ago would benefit anybody in Maui. But I know how it would benefit people in Ukraine. So when you see these big numbers, that's the amount that it costs to produce these weapons and the amount that it costs to invest in new weapons so that our reserves are replenished here in the United States. It's also important to note that funding wars and protecting an ally of ours is more expensive than cleaning up a wildfire. So when you see Ukraine got X amount of money and Hawaii got less money, well, that doesn't seem fair. It's it doesn't cost $50 billion to clean up Maui. It just doesn't. That recovery effort does not take that much.
But that goes back to the beginning point that I stated was, should there have been more money put towards the American people to feel like, hey, we are getting what we believe should be put forward?
We spend trillions per year on the American people. So with the amounts that we're sending out to Ukraine, there's no comparison. We're not sending more to Ukraine than we are for the American people. It's not even close. The amount that we send to Ukraine is a rounding error for the United States, given that our GDP is trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars, right? So there's no comparison here. We can do both. We can support Ukraine, which is a very valid effort, and the United States should be doing that. There's a multitude of reasons as to why the United States should be doing that, but we should also be supporting Maui and supporting the United States and supporting people who were subjected to natural disasters. We can do both. And what Biden did with Maui was praised by elected officials, and what Biden's doing in Ukraine is good.
And I think there should be more done here right now. That's my big point.
For what?
Yes, you can do all the people that lost their homes, their land, that in general.
Okay, great. So funding FEMA more, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then why do Republicans consistently support cuts to FEMA? Well, and you mentioned veterans earlier. Republicans tried to cut the VA by over 20% during debt ceiling negotiations. They've tried to cut benefits like Medicare, Medicaid, of which many veterans are on when they get denied by the VA. And they've also tried to reduce funding for SNAP, which is food benefits for poor Americans, which are accessed by veterans and of course by just Americans generally. So then if this is your view, hold on. If your view is that we should be spending more on the American people, investing investing in the American people, then why on earth would you vote for Donald Trump and the Republicans?
Because what you're saying is not currently what is being presented currently. This was something that happened in the past. Now, that is my point. You're bringing up
what?
That.
Yes, it is.
Okay, can you source it for me real quick?
Yeah, so you know the whole you know the whole like Department of Government Efficiency that Donald Trump's trying to start. What do you think they're cutting?
I would like to see can you pull it up real quick? I mean,
what are you asking me for specifically?
I would like you to see or show me the source that he is saying right now that he's going to be cutting.
Wait, hold on. I have two different claims that I'm making. Number one, it is my view that Donald Trump in his next term will make cuts to a lot of these different programs, but also Donald Trump did it once already. Every single year of his presidency, the first time he introduced cuts in his budget to Social Security and Medicare. Right.
And I hope.
So then,
hold
on. I'm not done yet. Hold on. I'm not done yet. If Donald Trump did this once and he cut SNAP benefits, then why do you think all of a sudden that he's going to change course? And then why would you vote for him again, knowing that he did that once and not Kamala Harris, who has always voted to fund these things?
Well, here's the sad part, though. We're talking about the president that is about to leave office here, Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not going to vote. How do you pronounce?
Kamala.
You say Kamala. Okay, so.
Or just Harris, whatever.
Okay, so the difference here is you originally you had the vote of Joe or Trump, and then all of a sudden it was a quick flip, very quick flip. Now, I think that it's a very hard decision now when you're going to be voting for Harris over Trump, over what we're currently speaking about now. These man, I would like to see the source. I really would, because I really.
So I have a CNN article right here from 2024, May of 2024, where Trump suggested he's open to cuts to Medicare and Social Security, saying, "quote There's a lot you can do in terms of entitlements, in terms of cutting, and in terms of also the theft and the bad management of entitlements." And Joe Biden responded by saying, "Not on my watch."
And what was going on in his presidency? Were there cuts or increase?
Yeah, so Trump tried every single year of his presidency, tried to introduce cuts to Social Security and Medicare. And as I mentioned, cut food benefits and things like that.
So what happened?
In some cases, the funding stabilized. It didn't go up. It didn't go down. And in some years, it actually increased because of Democrats, funnily enough.
Okay. So that's kind of, once again, so there's no, this is so hard right now when, everyone wants, what's hard is when you come in and it's bash on both sides. Okay. The thing is, when you're sitting here and what you're just talking about, I mean, it's going to be either shut down or increased on, it's going on both parties at that point, right? So you're saying that it could increase due to the Democrat, right?
Yeah, I'm saying that Democrats would increase funding for this stuff, or at least protect the funding.
Right. Now, do you fully believe that that was going to happen under the Harris administration?
Yes.
Now, and why is that?
For a multitude of things, for her record and the fact that she was talking about this policy. So, she has a record on these things, voting in favor of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, and all these different government programs protecting VA funding. And she's also talked about this in her campaign, saying, "Hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to protect these programs and whatnot." Donald Trump, on the other hand, has talked about cutting these things before, been open to cutting these things before, tried to cut these things before, sometimes succeeded in cutting these things before. And as I just read to you, he's flirted with cutting some of these programs. So if we're looking at these two records, if you're saying we should be funding the American people, if that's one of the main priorities for you right now, then Kamala Harris would be the obvious vote for you, or should have been the obvious vote for you.
I didn't see in Biden's presidency, though. I didn't see that. So we're back to square one. Oh, yeah. Well, we're going right back to the original question.
Hold on.
Yeah.
All funding for all of these programs increased under Joe Biden. They in 2021 they increased funding for SNAP dramatically. Military members' pay went up 5.1% in 2024, the largest pay raise since the early 2000s. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have funded these programs. They protected people's pensions with the American Rescue Plan, saved their pensions, actually. Donald Trump, on the other hand, didn't do any of these things.
Why is it that everyone that's well, not I'm not going to say everyone, but majority of people that I know personally that are currently in the military, why is it that I'm hearing the opposite from the current military people that are in? They are saying that they got cut pay when they were underneath this current president.
Yeah, now, I don't know how that's possible.
That's the hard part. Now, why are all these people now voting, hoping that Trump is going to get back into office? What you're saying is, it's the complete opposite of what's going on in these.
So there's a difference between like somebody telling you like, oh, this is happening to me, and actual fact, right? So like actual fact and data and things like this is far more reliable in my view than somebody that a friend or buddy of yours saying, oh, this happened to me.
Family members, yes.
Yeah, I would say that often is the case, that data is more reliable than fact, and data is absolutely more reliable than like a family member of yours, right? So you want to like make sure that what your family member is saying is correct. And if your family member is saying something that's wrong, and it's contradictory to like the data that we're getting from the federal government, then your family member is probably wrong.
Right? I don't know. I guess the contradiction also stems from when Harris is saying that we currently don't have anyone deployed in a war zone, but we do. So what's the contradiction here?
So she misspoke very slightly. What she meant to say is that we don't have any Americans fighting in war zones, like, which is the case right now. For the first time this century, the United States is not at war with another country. That's because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We're at less war right now directly than we were under Donald Trump.
Okay, so you're just saying it was a mess up on her end for her to state that, I guess. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it's a mess. I think it's okay for people to misspeak very slightly, which she did misspeak very slightly. If we want to go down that road of judging every single word that Kamala Harris has said, I'm happy to play that game with Donald Trump. It just won't go very well for you.
Well, I'm not getting into conspiracy here, so I'm not going to talk.
What conspiracy are you talking about?
Well, I mean, we're going to get into a debate right now of what was said when somebody misspoke. Like, I don't need to get into that. I mean, we can talk about real shit that's going on, but I'm good on that.
Yeah, so I think it's just my view that if somebody misspeaks very slightly, and the fact that they were trying to cite is very similar to what they said, I think we can understand what they were trying to get at, right? So I don't know how that's conspiratorial, but my point to you was that if you want to judge what Kamala Harris says and every word she says, I'm happy to do that. It just won't go well for you when it comes to Donald Trump. And if you want to talk about like rhetoric when it comes to military, I mean, Donald Trump has been the most disrespectful American politician in modern American history toward the military.
Yeah, I mean, we can move. I mean, I'm not going to get into like the misspeaking of whatever. I mean, I can move on to the next question or whatever. I mean, if you want to, but
sure. Just be clear. Like, Trump is very disrespectful toward the military. It's not good at all. Anyway, but that's if you have something else you want to talk about, we can. But
yeah, so I hear you speak a lot about the 25,000 for first-time home buyers.
Yeah,
that was being presented, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're freezing up.
I said yeah.
Okay, yeah. So. How was that going to be funded? How was the 25,000 for taxpayers? Yeah, now how is that going to benefit the people that aren't going to be purchasing homes? What's that going to do to the housing market? First of all, what's it going to do to the people in the area for taxes? Let alone we can get into this discussion too then about. Do you really believe that first-time home buyers are going to get $25,000 for a first-time purchase when you guys are also sitting here saying that the college debt was going to be wiped away? What happened with that? I mean, I think it's false promises at this point.
Oh my God, it's so funny that you say that. Given the fact that you voted for Donald Trump, who said he's going to remove all income taxes, like God love you, man.
I bought 2 houses under Donald Trump, so I don't know what you're talking
I don't care what you did under Donald Trump. I'm just saying that if you want to talk about false promises, I mean, like, my God, you voted for the epitome of false promises, the man who makes more false promises than anybody else in American politics. But sure. So that was not a false promise. That was definitely like a reasonable policy. There are already different cities around the United States who have down payment assistance programs already on a state or city level. So this is not like a brand new thing the United States has never seen before. Number one. Number two, it would have been funded not primarily just by like middle class workers, but by increasing taxes on the wealthy, kind of closing some of those loopholes to make sure that those folks are paying their fair share, just like everybody else does. And I don't know what you mean that it would have, what would have done to the housing market? Nothing. It would have probably made the housing market better. More people are buying houses, and then also tied into the fact that she wanted to build 3 million new houses. So there's more supply meeting demand. More people are getting in houses and increasing their net worths. That's an obvious good for society. And then you're saying like, oh, how does this benefit other people? Right now, the federal government, as a result of our taxes, funds housing for low-income individuals. And I think everybody that's logical, we also fund housing for veterans. So if your view is like, oh, well, how does getting more people in houses help people? Then you could use that same argument against housing veterans and other people. It's like, obviously having the American citizens in houses and helping them get there is a good thing. It makes society better, increases their net worth, makes them more economically stable, gives them a place to start a family. I don't know how you could be like, oh, that's so bad. How does that help people? Come on, man.
Under the taxpayer's dollar, first of all, like I ain't paying for that.
So you're
like,
against, so you're against housing veterans.
100%. No. We're talking about first-time homebuyers, and obviously, yeah, veterans could be a first-time homebuyer, whatever. They have a VA loan they could go under and get a way lower interest rate, dude. Like we're talking about the first-time homebuyer here. What you would end up seeing,
but if your logic is the government shouldn't be funding housing, or the government shouldn't be subsidizing people's housing, then you'd be against like the low-income housing we already have, and you'd be against housing veterans, right? I'm not for that. I want to get as many people into houses as possible.
No, you're putting words in my mouth now. That's not what I'm saying.
That's the logic that you're putting forward.
No, my logic right now is that, dude, no taxpayer is wanting our tax dollars to go towards first-time homebuyer, $25,000 straight. Dude, you own a house?
No, I pay taxes, though.
Have you ever owned a house? Yeah, you pay. Okay, dude. What you see, the interest rate is high. The home price is way too high. You start doing this, you're going to see the housing price increase even more.
Why?
That $25,000 isn't even going to be, dude, that ain't going to cut it at that point. $25,000 is not even going to be enough to make a down payment on a home. There ain't no way.
What are you talking about? We already have these programs around the United States, and these programs are not leading to an increase in housing prices. What is leading to an increase in housing prices is the lack of supply. So you're misinterpreting Kamala Harris's plan. She wants to give $25,000 to first-time homebuyers, or wanted to give $25,000 to first-time homebuyers, but she also wanted to work with developers to build 3 million new housing units. So there's an increased supply, and you're giving more people access to housing. What's the negative?
Dude, I just stated the negative. What you're saying, dude, what our current state right now is what you're seeing. Like, this is horrible. This is so bad right now. And it's not a lack of people trying to sell their homes right now. No one can afford it. And the $25,000, what?
This is not a response to anything I just said. You're saying, yeah, it's so bad right now. And I would agree that the housing market is not great. That's why I'm saying Kamala Harris wanted to do things to make it better than it is right now.
No,
right? That's what I'm saying.
Dude, that is not what's going to make it better. Now,
what's going to make it better then?
Trying to get more votes. No, that is her trying to get more votes from the first-time home buyer. Oh man,
please,
if I vote for
then tell me what's your solution to housing.
I might be able to buy it. I don't have a solution for it, but it ain't that. It ain't that.
You're against $25,000 for first-time home buyers.
I do have an
You're
answer
also
for
against
it. I have
people
an answer
building more
for it.
houses. What the fuck? I mean, what?
No, I got an answer for you. What is my answer to fix the housing?
Yeah.
What is it? It's getting Donald Trump back in office. I'll tell you that.
Okay, so what is Donald Trump going to do to solve it?
Interest rates dropping.
The Federal Reserve controls the interest rates, not the president, my man.
Dude, when you lower the price of material and gas and you're going to see the interest rates, the housing price, these things will drop. Material cost has tripled under Biden?
Okay. So the interest rates are controlled by the Federal Reserve. The interest rates are already going down right now under Biden. Yeah. And again, it's not Biden doing it. It's the Federal Reserve doing it.
When did it start? Didn't it start after he wasn't elected? Trump?
Yeah. Joe Biden does not control the interest rates. So it could start under Trump or Biden. It's not
Trump
because of them.
Coming back in and they said, oh, you know what? It might be time. We can make the cut now.
This is just the most uneducated take I've ever heard. First of all, they made the yes. It really is.
You've never lived it, dude.
It really is. It really is. This is like painful to listen to. Just listen for 1 second. No, just listen for 1 second. It's painful to listen to. They did not cut interest rates because they thought Trump was coming back into office. That's nonsense. They cut it well before the election, and they've been talking about cuts for a long time now. And the only reason that interest rates went up is to combat inflation. It's Econ 101, and it has been since like the 70s, that when inflation is high, you raise interest rates to reduce the money flow in the United States so people spend less and there's less money in circulation, thus less inflation. And it has worked because inflation is now 2.4%. That's why interest rates are going down. That's why interest rates were high. It has nothing to do with the president of the United States. But please elaborate as to how Donald Trump is going to reduce the prices of supplies for housing when he gets into office.
The supplies for housing? Well,
Yeah.
That alone, I mean, you lower the price of gas. That alone is going to lower the cost of material.
Okay, how is he going to lower the price of gas?
Drill.
So we're drilling right now more than ever before in American history under Joe Biden.
How... Okay, you're going to have to provide me with something on that.
Sure.
I would like to see. Didn't they
Sure.
shut down the pipeline project first day?
That was the Keystone XL pipeline. The Keystone pipeline is still in operation. The Keystone XL pipeline was shut down, but it wasn't shut down primarily because of Biden. It was already going through legal challenges because the proposed area that it would have traveled through was on native land. And so native tribes like sued to have this blocked, and a lot of courts actually approved, or is leaning in their direction. In some of the cases, it was approved in their favor and ruled in their favor. So the permits were already up in the air, and it was only 8% complete at the time. So it wasn't even in operation. It wasn't affecting America's oil. And even if it was going to be completed at some point, which would have taken around 2 years, it was only going to benefit one Canadian oil company so that they could bring their oil down through the United States to the Gulf of Mexico. They could refine it and sell it abroad so they could make a profit, but that oil was not coming to the United States. Now, my source regarding drilling more than ever before, it's the Energy Information Administration, which is a federal government agency, and it comes from a federal government website. And I know it's backwards. I can flip it if you want, if you don't believe that what it says. It says the United States produces more crude oil than any country ever in 2023. Look at that.
Then why is it that they're saying they're trying to cut the drilling? Like, why are they saying they want to stop drilling? I'm not understanding.
We're not. We know Joe Biden's not like, I want to cut drilling. You just got bamboozled by Donald Trump. Trump fooled you into believing that, he's just going to drill more and prices are going to come down and all the supplies of housing are just going to come down. It's just going to work like that. That's total nonsense. It's utter crap. And also, even if we're drilling more, the data also supports what I'm about to say. Even if we drill more in the United States, gas prices are based on global markets. So when a barrel of oil is trading high on a global market, that affects our gas prices just like it affects other countries' gas prices. When it's low, trading at a cheaper price like it was during the pandemic, gas prices come down. It's not because of the president of the United States.
Now, isn't that why he's trying to get more in the United States, though? That's the whole thing on the trade.
No.
He's trying to be... Then why would he be talking this? It makes no sense. So he's just full of shit.
Yes. He's full of shit. He said a bunch of stuff to make folks like yourself who might typically vote Republican, or maybe you're kind of undecided, to vote for him. He told you what you want to hear. He told you things like, I'm going to lower your prices. Never told you how. He told you I'm going to lower gas prices. Never told you how. He never told you I'm going to lower the price of housing. Never told you how. He gave you these really nice sounding policy positions, and on face value, you might be like, lower inflation, that sounds good to me. I'll vote for him. But in reality, the president can't do these things. The president obviously does not have the power to do these things. They're not God. They're not Superman. And you got bamboozled, unfortunately.
Why? See, I don't feel like I've been bamboozled, though, because when I'm living in the current state underneath Joe Biden, I mean, this is the worst economy I've ever gone through as a grown, adult. The whole housing market, the taxes, everything has... The price of just going to the store, all of this it's almost doubled.
Wait, hold on. We're still under Donald Trump's tax system, by the way. So if you're mad at the taxes, you should be mad at Donald Trump, because those don't expire partially until 2025 and in full until 2027. So we're still under Donald Trump's tax system. And the prices going up at the grocery store has nothing to do with Joe Biden. And if Donald Trump were in office, they still would have gone up, because remember, there was a major pandemic that shut down global economies, making it incredibly hard to import things. So when you can't import things into the country, you can't import bananas and chocolate and whatever you get at the grocery store, that price is going to go up because there's less supply. Donald Trump could not just go into Brazil and pick the bananas himself. Right? That would have
it's
never...
funny, though, because It's funny with this argument, though, because at the end of his presidency, it was, oh, Donald Trump ruined the economy. Donald Trump did this. Donald Trump did that. And now you're saying, yeah, dude, that's what happens when you shut the world down and it's a global pandemic. Yeah, I fully believe that the pandemic itself had destroyed what he was doing while he was in office. I do believe that.
Okay.
I don't think it was on the presidency.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think that Donald Trump is.
We can definitely.
I don't think that Donald Trump is responsible for the economy being bad. But then if you agree that Donald Trump is not responsible for the high unemployment, which got to around 14% at one point, then you'd also have to agree that Joe Biden is not responsible for inheriting that bad economy and inheriting a bad situation. But you don't hold the same standard. You don't blame Donald Trump for the COVID economy, but then you turn around and say, well, Joe Biden raised my prices. You can't have it both ways. Either you have to be logical and smart and say, yeah, the president of the United States doesn't control these things, or you have to be illogical and say, oh yeah, Donald Trump destroyed the economy and so did Joe Biden.
Do you have anything that you've read or like any sort of documentation that would show like how quick somebody or a country would come back from something like a devastation like this? What is a time frame? How many presidents will we go through until we can get back to a time before we have to say, well, yeah, we're going in after COVID happened? How many presidencies?
Honestly, I don't even know what you just asked me. Like, are you asking me if there are like studies out there that has like a projection as to when things return to normal?
Yeah, because then you get rid of the argument of, well, we're under a presidency that, we're still backtracking from COVID.
Yeah. So
how long do you think?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's not going to happen, right? There's not going to be a point. Back. Yeah, so the prices that you see at the grocery store, there's not going to be a massive reduction of those prices to what they were like during COVID or like what they were in 2016. Because we haven't... What?
Prior to COVID.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. We have inflation every single year. Sometimes there's high rates of inflation. Sometimes there's low rates of inflation. You would agree that the prices at the grocery store are not going to go back to what they were in the 1970s because there's inflation every single year. And the only instance of which the prices go down is de-inflation. And then the prices are the least of our worries if we have de-inflation in the United States and everything is like going to be like a penny. That'd be really, really bad for the economy. So no, all these things are not going to go back to what they were pre-COVID. And Donald Trump bamboozled you into thinking that somehow, magically, the president of the United States is able to control all of these private companies and all of these different sectors, whether it be cars, grocery store, cleaning devices, technology, whatever it be. Somehow the president can just tell them to lower their prices, and they're going to do it for every country around the world. That's what you bought into. Do you hear how absurd that is?
No, I'm not buying into like he's doing that by himself. That's not what I'm saying at all. My question was, at what point can this argument or debate get put to the side when you say this is because of the current administration? This can go on. I mean, it's the same thing. It's a lot of Democrats say, well, the only reason why the economy was good was because he came in after Obama.
Well, that is the truth. Yeah.
Okay, so there it is. So it's like no matter what, there's no credit given and there's none taken.
No, there can be credit given if somebody does something that's good for the economy. So Obama gets all the credit for recovering the economy from the 2008 financial crisis, right? He made those necessary investments and oversaw that growth. Donald Trump does not get to suddenly claim credit for the economy that he inherited. He didn't actually do anything to make the economy better. Whereas Joe Biden definitely gets to take credit for overseeing the recovery from COVID, because not only did he have the American Rescue Plan, which restarted the American economy, but also he made investments for the future, whether it be in manufacturing or renewable energy or whatever it might be, as small businesses and things like that. He made those investments. So when we have a manufacturing boom right now, in tech specifically, then absolutely Joe Biden gets credit for that. But Trump doesn't just get to claim credit for shit he didn't do. Sorry.
So where's the boom in tech coming from then when you're seeing the mass layoff within Intel? I would like to see this because of all the thousands of people that are losing their jobs in the microchip right now.
Hold on. Yeah, oh my God, let me show you. So this is from the treasury.gov. And I will actually flip this around for you because this is such a remarkable graph. So you can see at the bottom, treasury.gov, right? Look at this boom.
Well, a little further back. There you go.
In tech manufacturing in recent years. You see how under Donald Trump, manufacturing just across the board was pretty stagnant for his 4 years. In some cases, it went down. Look at tech. Look at the dark line under Joe Biden. Yeah. That's the manufacturing of the future. And let me actually remove the green screen just so we can get the full view.
Chips? That says chips too, right?
Chips and Science Act. That's what he signed. The Chips and Science Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, which made investments in these things. And look at that explosion as soon as Joe Biden got into office in tech. And all these others.
This is within the U.S. solely, correct?
This is the United States. This is real manufacturing, construction spending.
So what's going on then? What is going on with Intel currently right now? What happened with the what was that, 5-6 weeks ago, I believe?
I don't know what you're referencing when it comes to Intel layoffs, but generally tech is doing very well right now. So there's certain companies that might make cuts at certain times, but tech as a whole is doing very well.
Yeah. I used to work at Intel, and I know a lot of people that are losing their jobs currently.
And that's terrible. But you were bamboozled by Donald Trump. And I hate having these conversations, and I hate sort of seeing people have that realization, which I feel like maybe a little bit. But yeah, you were bamboozled by Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I'm going to put my obviously, I can't wait to see the face that you make whenever you hate the shit that people say, but I'm going to put my trust and hope that this isn't what you're stating. And maybe, I'll see you on here 2 years from now and you're going to be sitting here saying, well, shit, look at that. The shit's changing, but we'll never fucking know. We won't know until the future comes. But realistically, I mean, there's no going back. It is what it is currently. And it looks like, the U.S. has spoken that a lot of people are willing to put their trust in him over Harris.
Yeah, I mean, so that's definitely the case that Donald Trump won the election. I'm not doubting that. But, we've elected bad presidents before. And that's what happened here. We elected somebody who should not be president of the United States, should have never been president of the United States from the beginning. And you say, we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe in a year from now, all these things will come down. We know. My argument is 99.999999999% the case. And I don't see a scenario of which Donald Trump is able to reduce prices in all of these different sectors through the power of the presidency. That just is not a mechanism that exists. And the American people voted for Donald Trump. I don't dispute that. But none of this is going to change. And it's, I am personally eager to see Trump supporters' face when they realize oh shit, my prices actually didn't go down. And also now we're less safe because the FBI has less investment. The CIA has less investment. Maybe we even got rid of the Department of Education like Donald Trump wants. And now people's civil rights are being violated all over the country because the Department of Education can't track it. And these states don't have the resources to do it. It's going to, we in the United States in a really bad spot right now, unfortunately.
And when you're talking about the Department of Education, when you say he's trying to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Now, what are the facts of him trying to get rid of it? Why is he trying to get rid of it?
I have no.
Being taught currently? Is it what's being taught to the younger students in schools, or what is the background of this?
There's no coherent reason, in my view, that for getting rid of the Department of Education, like Donald Trump has talked about. There's no reason to do that. He said he will anyway, and this is not like me just guessing. He quite literally has said multiple times, I want to get rid of the Department of Education. And I imagine that it has something to do with culture wars of him saying, it's woke or whatever crap that he claims. But yeah, he wants to do that. And I think that makes us worse off.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it has to do with what's going on with, having the transgender community coming in, reading books to kindergartners or whatever it might be. By the way, this is coming from Portland, Oregon. Okay, so it does happen. God, I don't know if that's the case, but
a human being comes in and reads books. Oh my God.
I'm saying I don't know if this is. No, I'm saying I don't know if this is what is causing. That's what the argument is, right? That's what everyone is saying. They believe that this is something that. But anyways, yeah, and then I guess my last thing was I heard you getting into a debate with somebody on here before I got on about you're putting your full trust into the big pharma. I do have a question on that. Now, I wanted to chime in when that guy was talking because I mean, what he was saying, I think what he was trying to spit out was he doesn't believe that there should be, commercials on your TV popping up every, other minute stating that, hey, you can take this drug, but it's going to cause 50 different side effects. It could cause cancer. It could cause loss of vision, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that a prescription drug, now, yes, that is to the person's choice. Now, is this something that you're going to take and hopefully, you're not going to get the side effect and it is going to cure you of your disability or disease? But I don't think it should be shoved down our throats of, it's a profit. It's simply just all about money when it comes to that. Now, are you in agreement that it's something that shouldn't be shown on, on our TV every 30 seconds? Like,
no, I typically it's not something I'm passionate about, right? I don't really have a passionate view on this. But if I had to take a position, it would be that I'd be against that because I think that interferes with a company's right to do business. And there's certain instances of which you can do that, like cigarette companies are not allowed to advertise on TV. But I think it's clear that there's a public health benefit to that. Obviously, medication is not to the level of cigarettes. So, no, I think that's just anti-capitalist. I think it's anti-America, just banning a company because medication has side effects. Everything has side effects. And they only do that to cover their tracks legally. I mean,
should it be regulated then?
Should we what?
Should it be regulated then?
Well, it is regulated.
More.
What more regulation would you propose?
I would propose that it isn't something that is going to be, commercialized. You can go to your doctor and it can be prescribed if you get it from your doctor. I don't believe that it should be getting shoved down your throat.
Okay, and then I feel like that argument can be made about literally any company or any industry that, oh my God, Oreo is shoving their product down my throat. I see Oreo ads all the time. It's like,
oh boy, we're about to get into RFK here.
No, I don't. No, we're not. I just I just think that's a bad argument of oh, it's being shoved down our throat. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because you can make that argument about literally anything. That this company, their food company, shoving Red Lobster is they're so mean to me.
Why is it not legal in Europe and other countries then?
I don't know. That there are plenty of things that are not legal in other countries, and there are plenty of things that are legal there and not here. We don't have the exact same laws in the exact same country.
Seems pretty crazy when it comes to medications or even the stuff that is being put into our foods. I mean, Red 40, anything of the sort it seems weird. It's just weird to me that it's accepted out here, and that it causes cancer. It's lethal to our body.
Red 40 is still used in Europe. It's just under a different name. So it's not like Red 40 is also not lethal. There are plenty of things that have ties to cancer or disease generally. As I was just talking about to somebody before, red meat. If you eat a lot of red meat, you're at increased risk to get cancer, right? If you eat a lot of bacon, you're increased risk to get cancer or cardiovascular disease or whatever it might be. But people have the ability to eat whatever they want. I think that at the end of the day, the solution to America's food problem or health problem is not saying, oh, well, let's take this chemical, this chemical, this chemical. It's just why don't we preach healthy eating, exercise, eating whole foods, grains, whatever that might be,
Yeah. I think there needs to be a massive change. It'll never change. We're too deep.
No, I just find it. I also just find this conversation so funny because number one, why the fuck would RFK Jr., a literal conspiracy theorist who's not a doctor, not a scientist of anything, be the guy to solve it? And then number two, Michelle Obama, when she was first lady, had this program to create healthier lunches for school kids, and Republicans freaked out. They lost their goddamn minds over this at the time. So it's just funny that they have now suddenly been well, this food is so terrible.
I'm Republican. I don't know. I live in a pretty small town. Everyone is pretty stoked about it. I don't know where you're coming from there.
I don't know who could be stoked about a conspiracy theorist running America's health agency.
No, I'm talking about Obama. No. I'm talking about Michelle Obama. When that I was in high school when that happened.
Yeah, elected Republicans at the time, I think Newt Gingrich was still kicking around. I'm not 100% sure though, but elected Republicans were having a field day. They were losing their minds over it.
So things are changing on the right then, huh?
No, I just think that the Republicans are hypocrites.
Right.
No, I just think that the Republicans are hypocrites. I don't think that like anything actually legitimately changed from then till now. I just think that the Republicans are hypocrites. Because like when it was Obama, it had her last name Obama doing it. Then it's evil. Then they're trying to infringe on your rights to enjoy fruit snacks at lunch. But when it's RFK Jr. who endorses Donald Trump, then, oh, let's do it. Make America healthy again. Republicans just often pick and choose positions which are politically advantageous, even if they don't really believe them.
Didn't you you posted a story recently about RFK being on that plane with the McDonald's in front of him, right?
Yeah. Ain't that funny?
Do you know why he posted it? Did you read into that?
I don't care why he posted it.
Did you see it though? There was a whole point to it.
Oh, what was the whole point to it?
It wasn't just him sitting there. Well, I don't know if I can pull it up on my phone while we're on here without muting myself. Can I do that?
Just tell me.
Okay, yeah. So he was basically making that as like he was trying to make that as like, hey, like pretty soon here, like I can finally enjoy a meal, from McDonald's because I'm going to be changing this to where we're going to add, healthy ingredients back into the food.
Dude, that is such a crazy cope. That's absolutely not what happened. Donald Trump is like this dude who loves McDonald's, has eaten McDonald's for his entire career. This is not a post of RFK Jr. being like, yeah, we're going to clean up McDonald's.
Beef tallow. He's putting beef tallow back in the burgers, dude.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure that makes sense. Nice job.
That's what he's saying. Eat a burger in Switzerland. And
Donald Trump also said that Mexico's going to pay for the wall.
Yeah, well.
And that didn't happen, my man. So maybe these guys being like, well, I said it doesn't mean much, huh?
Well, that's one. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. Yeah, I guess they didn't pay for the wall, but I never brought that up because
No, I know. I know you didn't bring that up. I'm just pointing out how Republicans make a lot of promises. Trump specifically makes a lot of promises that he doesn't follow through on. That's all.
I think that's the government in general, in my opinion.
You can think the government in general, but Donald Trump especially is bad at that.
I feel bad for all the college students that didn't get their loans paid off, man. That was
because of Republicans. Yeah, because of Republicans.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
I know about that. The reason why Biden's plan did not go through is because Republicans sued, and it's worked its way up to the Supreme Court, and the Republican-controlled Supreme Court overturned it. Also, Biden has forgiven more student loans than any president before in American history, so he still made good on a lot of this stuff.
All right, man. Well, last question. Are you going to fight Bryce Hall?
No.
Come on.
No, why would I do that?
Just step in there, dude. See what happens.
Why, but why would I do that?
Well, I just want to see it happen.
Well, I know you want to see what happened, but why would I do that?
Well, don't you want to be his ass?
No, I don't really care. It's not. I'm not looking to be a professional boxer. It's not my field.
I'm just fucking around on that. I'm good, dude.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming up. Thanks for the conversation. You have a good one. All right.
Yes, sir. You too, man.
I appreciate you. Welcome back anytime. All right.
All right, man.
Jill, thanks for the $10. XOXO, keep fighting. Jill, I appreciate you. You keep fighting as well. I need you to stay in the fight. You hear me? I need you to stay in the fight. Thank you, Jill. I appreciate you being here. Lily, thanks for the $2. Do you ever see Barron around? I have not. Actually, I have not seen Barron. Ben, thanks for the $5. Wish I could support more because you've kept me sane during this election cycle. Thanks for all you do and getting right back in there while many of us are still in shock and grieving. Love you. I'm still laughing at. I have a friend who has a bus, Miss Molly. God, what a crazy conversation that was, right? But hey, Ben, you just being here and continuing to support, as I've said to people before, that just means the most to me, man. I appreciate you being here. So thank you. Clara, oh my God. Golly, Clara, thanks for the $75 on Venmo. Can we please get some W's for Clara in the chat? $75. That's insane. Fill the chat with W's for her. What an amazing person. See you at the 2044 primaries when you can win. You appoint me as your head of EPA. This isn't a bribe, I promise. Also a question. I'm surprised so few people bring up energy. It's my industry since it seemed like such a hot ticket item. Thoughts on why it doesn't come up? I think it does come up, just not in the ways that's productive. Like as you just saw with that guy, like bringing up Trump drilling and stuff like that and how that's going to reduce gas prices. That's, bringing up energy. It's just not in the way that actually solves anything. So, but yeah, in a way that's productive. Yeah. You know what I mean? I agree. I don't know why. Carly, what's up, Carly? Thanks for the $4. I'm sending you a link, RN. You can decide whether you share it, but my favorite professor has a page all about abortion, reproduction, and safety for the next 4 years. I will definitely take a look at that, Carly. It's an amazing resource. Thanks for providing that. Alejandro, my man, thanks for the $1. Guy was just talking about wanting to give more money back to Americans, but now has an issue with giving back to Americans. That's how it goes, ain't it? Colleen, I appreciate you. Also, just completely unrelated, Snapchat link in bio, Snapchat username and link in bio, along with my Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Blue Sky is at real Harry J Sisson if you people are on it, which is fun. It's actually fun over there. It's nice. Hunter, thanks for the $1. State governments have primarily control over curriculum, also account for over 90% of public school funding. If people are having issues with their local public schools, plus what is being taught, they need to focus on state legislator department, plus Department of Education, not the federal one. Yeah, it's a good point. Education is mostly a state thing. If you're a MAGA lunatic, I should say, let me know. I'll bring you up and you can tell me. Are you on Threads? I am Nicole. Harry J. Sisson on Threads and on Instagram. If you're MAGA, let me know. I'll bring you up and you can tell me why. Dawson wants to come up. Allison, thanks for the $5. What are your political aspirations? I would love to see you in Congress and more one day. We need people like you. Love listening to your lives. I don't know. I'll go where things happen. If it goes to Congress, that'd be cool. I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know. But I'm not opposed to anything. You know what I mean? What's up, Dawson?
Hey, Harry. How's it going?
It's going good, man. You vote for Trump?
I did, yeah.
Why? Why?
A big thing is foreign policy for me.
Okay. Why did you vote for Trump based off foreign policy?
Just because of the other candidates that were available to me, like Kamala Harris and the Biden-Harris administration did a terrible job with foreign policy.
Why do you say that?
Such as things like the Afghanistan pullout, things like the Russian-Ukrainian war and supporting them so long, even though the United States has zero goal anymore in that war. Things like Israel-Palestine. There's a ton of foreign policy issues.
Where would you like to start? We'll keep it in on Ukraine and Russia and the Afghanistan withdrawal. So which out of those two would you like to start on?
Okay, yeah. So
you can pick.
All right, I'm going to start with the Russian-Ukrainian war. So what are the United States' goal in that war now?
Our goal has remained consistent since day one. Our goal is to support our ally against an adversary that's invading them. We don't want, there's a couple of reasons why we do that. Number one, having more allies that are pro-democracy around the world is a good thing. Having trading partners around the world is a good thing. And standing up to bullies is also really important on a global stage. So when Russia wants to invade a smaller country, or any country wants to invade a smaller country for that matter, they shouldn't have the ability to just do so freely and just like wipe out a country, kill a bunch of people and get away with it. So we, the United States, are, in my view, are standing up for what's good here. And I think that's an important precedent to set. And, other countries like China are watching right now as to what the United States response is. So.
Yeah. So, like, would you support things like NATO being for offense of purposes? No. Okay. Yeah. So see, that's why I don't support the funding of Ukraine anymore. There's no possible way for Russia to completely take over Ukraine. Not anymore. They obviously don't have the military power to do that anymore. They're losing a lot of troops daily. I think it's 15,000. Is the last number I saw. But yeah, so 3 months into the war, Russia proposed a deal with Ukraine that said, if you let us keep Crimea when they annexed it in 2014, then we'll stop the war. And they declined. So why would Zelensky decline the only reason would be because he has the funding of the United States behind him.
Yeah, so that wasn't 3 months into the war. That was pretty early on in the war. And the reason why it was rejected at that point, it was actually like going toward being accepted, but eventually was rejected because, number one, it was a bad deal. Russia didn't just want Crimea. They wanted more. And two, the Ukraine didn't have the funding of the United States yet and the backing of the West. And then three, a lot of the crimes that Russia had committed against innocent Ukrainian people weren't discovered at the time yet. So in like small Ukrainian villages along the border of Russia, Ukraine went in and found like a bunch of people lined up, shot in the back of the head, and like put in ditches. And so, that was unidentified at that point. So once Ukraine discovered that, they're like, yeah, we can't let these people get away with doing that, along with the fact that they want to take this land, and now we're getting funding from the United States. They wanted to fight. And so if they want to fight, we should support them, because here's the thing. If we concede right now, we're just like, yeah, we're not going to fund Ukraine anymore, or we come to an agreement where Ukraine gives up the land that they've already lost, Russia's just going to like wait, build up their military, and go again. We have to stop them in their tracks to say, hey, if you do this, we, the United States, will be backing Ukraine and make your life a living hell.
Well, yeah, but the problem is Russia wouldn't be able to do that, because if Russia does invade again, they now have the United States and the rest of NATO as well, fighting that war as well. So you see,
the United States and NATO is not fighting that war.
Yeah, but the United States as well as the United Kingdom, a bunch of places have already agreed to that. What it is a national peace agreement is what it. I can't remember the exact name of what it's called, but it would be a peace guarantee, and if they break the peace guarantee, then the United States now has full right to, blow them off the side of the planet, basically.
I don't know where you're getting this from. This is not a thing.
Well, that's what a peace agreement is. If they violate a peace agreement or a peace guarantee, then the United States now has full, authority to do that.
Are you saying that this is a hypothetical peace agreement? Or are you saying that this is one that's been agreed upon? Like, where are you getting this from?
No, yeah. So it's been that was the terms. That was one of the terms. Is that Russia would have to sign a peace guarantee to Ukraine, and if they broke that,
yeah, who cares? Yeah, I don't care what Russia signs. Like, we had the Budapest Memorandum already, where Russia said that they wouldn't invade Ukraine, right? And then they did.
Yeah, but see, the problem with that is there was not a peace guarantee there. There was just a thing that said, we won't invade you. Here you go. I'm going to sign it.
Putin signing like a peace guarantee, that's the problem, right? Like, a peace guarantee means nothing. A peace guarantee means nothing for Russia. Because there's no sudden, the United States has a right to go after Russia now and they didn't before. Like, theoretically, if the United States wanted to go to war with Russia right now, we could. But we're not going to do that. And if there's a document saying, if Russia goes any further in Ukraine, we're going to go to war, that means, absolutely nothing. Because it's, circumstantial. Like, when does this take place? How does it take place? What does that look like? Those are factors that go into that stuff. So this is not a thing. And that wouldn't stop anything. Russia would just keep going. Again, the parallel with the beginning of World War II is present in my mind when I think about this, because we all thought that we could appease Mustache Man in World War II. Like, he wanted Switzerland, he wanted Poland, just like, let him have that, he'll stop. And then he kept going, and then he went into the Soviet Union, and then it became a broader war. So it's like, why would we try to appease Putin, who consistently proves over time that he can't be appeased?
That's a fair argument. You can bring up World War II. What I would have to say back to that is that, where does the funding stop? Like, we can't constantly just guarantee that we're going to pay this, or we're going to give this, and that. Where does it stop? Because we're fighting an unlimited war right now, and that's something that I'm worried about.
I don't think that right now there should be like a stop point. I don't think that there should be. I think that we should fund Ukraine for as long as they need it. If this war goes on like 5 more years, 10 more years, I think that we should continue to fund Ukraine and continue to give them weapons, because the alternative, like, that doesn't sound appealing. Like, the United States, it doesn't, like, nobody wants to give away billions of dollars, right? But the alternative is devastating. The alternative is an ally of ours gets taken over, Russia becomes stronger, they have more natural resources, they get access to more trading ports, China's emboldened, other bigger countries are emboldened to go after smaller countries because the United States funding dried up. The alternative is not good. So we shouldn't let that happen. I'm fearful that Donald Trump will, which would be really, really bad, not only for the reliability of the United States as a partner, but global peace. But, we'll have to see.
Yeah. I just think there should be some kind of limit set. Not to say that we should put a direct date on when we're going to stop spending, because I think that would be pointless. But I do think we should say, all right, listen, our spending caps here, and just so Zelensky can't just turn around and take over the entirety of Russia while we fund him, which is something that I'm not very.
Yeah, I don't know if that. Yeah, I don't see that as being the case. Like, Zelensky's not going to go and try to take over Russia. We only just recently allowed for, United States missiles to be used to strike with inside Russia due to them escalating first. So no, that's not going to happen.
See, that's also kind of worrisome to me.
Why? They escalated first, or they escalated most recently.
So you can make the same argument about Palestine and Israel. You telling me that they escalated first doesn't mean that I'm for sending missiles into their homeland. That's
but I obviously like they're two different conflicts. So I think it's hard to make a comparison there. But the point is that like North Korean troops are now fighting in Russia, and Russia's allowing this to happen. And they just started a recent huge offensive in Kursk with like 50,000 troops. They are escalating. And if Ukraine and the United States just says, well, more troops coming in, it's an escalation, but like who really cares? It's like we can't just stay stagnant. We can't stay stagnant. So we have to, and I think this is actually a good move by President Biden. I like it.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I think we've kind of exhausted what I had to say about the Ukrainian war. I guess we'll just agree to disagree there. I do think we need a cap on it, but I mean, all right. So moving on. Palestine and Israel.
We'll talk about we can talk about Palestine and Israel. I mean, I don't know if we'll disagree very much. I don't like obviously what's going on, and I don't like the response. I don't think it's proportionate, obviously.
Yeah. So, what do you think? What do you think the United States' stance should be there?
I think the United States, should support a two-state solution, and I think there has to be a serious conversation about what support looks like in the future and what support looks like right now, because if these missiles have been used in a very bad way, they've been used in a way that is not intended or not legal. So I think we have to rethink our support, and we should support a two-state solution. But
so you mean something like Abraham Accords?
What was that?
Like you mean like something like the Abraham Accords?
Yeah, I mean, no, I like in its own deal, like its own agreement.
Yeah.
But sure.
In my opinion, I believe we should support Israel, just because Hamas is basically the government and they are a terrorist organization. And I believe that the United States should fight against terrorist organizations, just like we're doing in Russia right now. But when it comes to the amount of funding that Israel has received, just because I feel like the Democratic Party is some kind of like anti-Christian, anti-Jew, like some kind of like rhetoric that you guys push.
What?
I feel like the reason I feel like Hamas waited until a Democratic candidate was in office, just because
of evidence of that
on funding Israel.
Do you have any evidence of that?
I mean, I don't have evidence. I'm giving my opinion.
So I don't think that's the case, because this has been something that's been going on for 80 years. There have been back and forth. There have been flare-ups. There have been some bigger conflicts, smaller conflicts that have taken place under Democrats and Republicans. I don't think that the H group is waiting for a Democrat to get into office. And I see no evidence of that being the case.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, I mean, do you think Israel's in the right here? I mean, I'm trying to pick your brain a little bit.
Like, I don't think that Israel, I think that after like October 7th, they had a right to respond, but the way they've escalated to the point that they've taken it is absolutely wrong in my view. Like, I don't think that they're in the right at this point in time. I think it's just a completely disproportionate response. I'm not saying the war has to be proportionate, but this is outrageous.
You mean like civilian casualties wise?
Yeah, I think civilian casualties wise. I think with the drone strikes, they're very, they don't really care for human life. You know what I mean? And I like drone strikes are, big missiles, they're big explosions. So it's hard to account for that stuff. I get it. But, I think we should err on the side of like protecting people than just like launching them willy nilly. Yeah.
I mean, sure. But the problem is that if we take that kind of stance there, I mean, and we use precaution like that, like if Israel uses precaution, that means terrorist organizations can now hide under hospitals and have zero worry in the world. Like just because they're hiding around civilians, they're not immune to, that's what.
Yeah, but then the question becomes like, okay, if that's the case, let's just say there's a hospital full of civilians and there's a bad group of people hiding under it. Do you take the shot? Do you go after that hospital? I don't think that question's so clear. I think that's a very difficult question, and I would err on the side of like, no, you don't take that shot.
Yeah, see that's where I would have to. That's where I would probably have to disagree. It doesn't mean that I'm for civilian casualties, of course not. But I think that if we allow terrorist groups to now hide in, civilian populated areas. Everybody knows that the United States is going to take a pro-life stance on that. And just because we have, certain laws that we have to abide by, and which I'm for the laws, but it's like saying you think that, Britain was wrong in the World War II.
I don't think it's like saying that. It's hard to, foreign policy is really difficult because it's hard to liken conflicts one for one. So there's always like a little bit of, difference. So I don't think it's fair to say like, oh, well, it's like, the Germans, or it's like being mad at Great Britain in World War II for what they did to Germany. I just disagree. I don't think that's a fair comparison. Because this is not like a broader war, like a world war by any stretch of the imagination. But I just think it's immoral. I'm not a fan of the idea. That's all. It's just hard for me to grasp, I think.
Yeah. I mean, me too. Sometimes. I guess we just disagree there as well. I mean, I would take the shot. You wouldn't. That's kind of just.
Well, then what about this? What if there was a hospital full of Americans and there was a terrorist group under that? Would you take the shot?
What do you mean a terrorist group? Like if there was a hospital in a different country or it doesn't
let's
matter.
just say whatever. Let's say that, or even there's a hospital in another country and it's full of Americans, and there's a terrorist group underneath it. What would you do?
I would take the shot. I mean,
I would definitely not. I would not take out the American people for that.
It depends on the risk to reward ratio, of course, too. If it's some low level, terrorist group that doesn't mean anything, I'm not in favor of taking the shot. But I mean, if it's Hamas that basically took over an entire government in the country, I believe we should.
I wouldn't. It's like it's a bunch of, anyway. I think we'll just agree to disagree on this one. I could not see that view whatsoever. But again, we'll agree to disagree.
Yeah, and one more thing before I head off.
Sure.
You were saying that you didn't want to talk about the pull out of Afghanistan. Why is that?
Well, I more said I didn't want to talk about the Middle East with the H group in Israel, just because I think it's such a complex conversation that it's hard to have in like 10 minutes. But I'm happy to talk about the Afghanistan withdrawal. Why do you? What do you want to talk about there?
I just think it should have been not termless, like it was termless, and we already had terms arranged. I'm curious as to why Joe Biden pulled the trigger so fast on that.
It wasn't termless. We were following Donald Trump's deal.
Yeah, but the deal that Donald Trump had on the table was not the deal that Joe Biden struck.
Joe Biden didn't strike a deal with the Taliban.
Yeah, but he did exactly. He did. There wasn't. Donald Trump.
Joe Biden followed the deal that Donald Trump put into place.
But it wasn't the exact deal that he put in place.
No, it was the exact deal. It was the deal that Trump had. Like this is what I think people confuse, because like the deal that Donald Trump he signed with the Taliban in 2020. That didn't just expire when Joe Biden got into office, and there was no like major renegotiation of that. There was a slight extension as to when the United States was going to get out, but in terms of the fundamentals, the deal didn't change.
Really?
Yeah. This is Donald Trump owns the withdrawal from Afghanistan, partially at least. He's the guy that put us in this bad situation, gave us a bad deal. So yeah, he owns it, 100%.
See that the terms that I've heard are not the terms that have been met, and the terms that I heard Donald Trump struck.
Do me a favor, look up the Doha Accords after this conversation. It's DOHA Accords, and you can see that this extended into Biden's presidency as well. There's no new deal that the Biden administration stuck with the Taliban. They followed Donald Trump's plan, and it was a bad deal. So.
All right. Well, I believe that is everything that I wanted to talk about with you, sir.
All right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming up. Thanks for the conversation. You have a good one, all right?
Yes, sir. Take care.
Thanks. Look, I just want to, this guy in the bottom, I just see this guy automatically. His name is MAGA John 2A. I mean, can you get more insufferable by any chance? I don't know if it's possible. You might have set a world record here, buddy. Good for you. Good for you. It's really impressive. Aaliyah, thanks for the $1. I love you. Genuine quick question. You mentioned the housing assistance for first-time home buyers under Kamala. Would that have only raised taxes for the rich? Might be a dumb question, but I learned politics through you. Yeah, primarily the goal was to like raise taxes for the wealthy, and that would pay for this program along with others. But yeah, primarily, yep. Angela, thanks for the $1. Teacher here. Thanks for all you have done during election season and everything you continue to do to fight for democracy. Well, Angela, as I always say, we love teachers. You do so much, and you're a real backbone of society. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for you being part of the change. That's really impressive. And as I said, we love teachers. Katie, thanks for the $1. Hi, Harry. I just wanted to say thank you for everything you're doing. I'm from Texas and go to college in Oklahoma, so it's hard being surrounded by super passionate Republicans, and watching y'all go live helps me feel not as alone. So thank you for continuing the fight. Well, Katie, blue dot in a red state. I can only imagine that being how difficult that must be and how that's probably very hard. So, keep fighting, even though you're surrounded by Republicans, and know that you're not alone. Know that you're not alone. And Yesley, thanks for the $20. Thanks for being helpful and hopeful and determined. You always remind me of being young and involved in politics because I knew that I could become a part of the change. Aw, that's so nice. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. That's incredibly kind. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And thank you for still remaining involved in politics. Again, it's going to take everybody. It really will. Deborah, thanks for the $20. I appreciate you on Cash App. It means a lot, Deborah. Thank you so much. No information, no message included. But Deborah, I appreciate you. Tyrell, thanks for the $5. Disinformation prevailed over truth and logic. I would totally agree. Dawn, thanks for the $20. Quick when you can. What do you mean by that? Don, Chelsea, thanks for the $5. I appreciate you. I've learned a lot. Thanks. I wish I found you and Parker and Dean and Chris way earlier than I did, but I'm glad nonetheless. I did vote Kamala anyway. It's really a shame America lost. Well, hey, I appreciate your support of all of us, not just me. But yeah, tough loss. I agree. Kaya, thanks for the $2. Podcast I listen every night when I go to bed. I've talked about with Chris restarting our podcast. We had one at one time. But anyway, Groovy, thanks for the $4. Maybe we'll restart. Groovy, thanks for the $4.20 doing the Lord's work. Groovy, I appreciate you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Lauren, thanks for the $5. Those zygotes aren't going to save themselves. Well, maybe I have to make the Discord now. I don't know. Venmo, Cash App, link in bio if you want to support the live. It's in the link in the bio. Sorry, I'm yawning in your ear right now. Make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. We do these lives all the time. Also, double tap the screen. We're really close to 1 million likes. So when that bar comes up, fill the entire bar. Maybe once, maybe twice, 3 times. Why not? 4, 5, maybe 7. I'm joking. Also, all the links to my other socials are in my bio. Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff. All right, everybody. Let me know if you're MAGA. I'll bring you up. You can tell me why you are MAGA. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, type if you're MAGA, or we vote for you in 2034. I can't run in 2034. Also, 2034 is not a presidential election year. Maybe you mean Congress. I could run for Congress at that point, but I can't run for Congress right now. But maybe. Look at this guy, Jay. Let's get this guy an invite. I just invited him. He's sitting in the comments. I imagine that he won't come in because that is often the case with some of these people that are so loud in the chat, but they never want to come up and debate. Anyway, let's get this guy up here. He's in the comments. Drop a follow if you haven't already. We do these lives all the time. Let me check something out. We are 24 followers away from 400 for the night. So make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. Let's try to get to 400 followers. Why is this guy not loading in? He was literally just here requesting come up. Crazy. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you. How old are you, Tanya? I'm 22. 22 years of age. This guy just left. I actually want to try to get this guy up here because he was spamming MAGA. If he can figure it out. AJ. Let's give AJ a shot. I just invited him. Xavier, don't know about that big man. Sierra, I just invited Sierra. She was just typing MAGA. Sorry, I was just like surprised. Adele, Sierra, I already invited, but they're not coming up yet. McCormick, I can't invite you. Mike says let me in. Let's see if Mike's in the box. Oh, there he is. Let's give him a shot.
Hello.
Yeah, how old are you, bro?
21, bro.
Okay, why'd you vote for Donald Trump? Oh, lighting's terrible.
Immigration's a huge issue. Economy, just common sense back into our country.
What state did you vote in out of curiosity?
Florida.
Florida.
How about yourself, out of curiosity?
New York.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Thanks. So, okay, common sense. Talk to me about that. Why do you think Trump is the common sense candidate out of both of them?
Well, just because, like, trans issues, not that I'm anti-trans, but shouldn't be rubbed in and taught to little kids in school. And that's what liberal states are. That's what liberal states are doing.
When you say it shouldn't be, like, taught in schools and rubbed in, like, what do you think is happening in public schools right now where it's being taught and rubbed in?
They're having like classes about it and to first and second graders and talking.
That's
about
not true.
It is true, and
no, that's absolutely not true. There's not like a class that second graders are. No, it's not true. There's not like a class that second graders are taking where they're like, oh yeah, this is dedicated to trans people.
Not a
or being
year-round
transgender.
class, but just like when we were in school, they had the classes about, I don't even know, bro, but they have like it'll be a one day thing they do. We did it, but it was not about LGBTQ or any of that shit. So
and that's also not happening. I don't know what you're talking about. That's not like a thing. You know, curriculums have to be approved ahead of time. They're being approved by school boards that are elected. This is just like not a thing.
And there's also liberal teachers who have it. They rub it in kids' faces saying, if you want to be trans and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that, but why rub it in kids' faces? I don't understand. It's not
being rubbed in anybody's faces. And like there might be teachers out there who talk about this more than other teachers, but there's also like Republican teachers who live in Oklahoma who go in their classrooms and they spread conspiracy theories about Donald Trump, and none of you guys care about that.
Well, I've never heard about that, so.
Well, of course you haven't heard about that because you're so focused on like the culture wars, right? So that like this is not a thing. It's not being taught in schools. It's not being rubbed in anybody's faces. This is just like not a thing. This is something that like Republicans decided to like focus on as opposed to focusing on real policy. And also I'm not even against, high schoolers or even middle schoolers learning about the LGBTQ plus community because it is a major part of society. Like what's the objection?
There's no objection. It shouldn't be taught though.
Why shouldn't a high schooler like learn more about like the history of the LGBTQ plus community?
Well, if they want to do their own research, they can, but why do they learn about it in school?
Because it's like a major part of history.
If you want to go into a group outside of or in school, that's fine, but why does that have to be taught against their will?
Against their will? What are you talking about? This is a part of the United States' history.
So they have to be taught about sexuality. It's not. That's something that's.
It's a major movement in the United States with major legal cases that have surrounded it. Like Obergefell is the case that legalized gay marriage federally. Are you saying that we should not be talking about Obergefell in the classroom when we're talking about like American history?
No, we shouldn't. It should be.
What is wrong with you? What you see? This is genuinely what's wrong with you? Because when you say stuff like that, that just proves to me, and I think proves to a lot of people, that you're just like anti-LGBTQ plus. You're not just like you're not just like, oh, I accept these people, I love these people.
I accept them, I love them.
No, of course not. Because if you're saying like, yeah, we shouldn't talk about major legal cases, in the United States.
And they're doing it to elementary school.
You're just anti-LGBTQ plus.
Nope, it shouldn't be taught in school. Not at all. It shouldn't be taught in school.
Give me a reason why Obergefell should not be talked about in school.
Because why are we talking about anything sexuality in school? It should be taught about.
It's a legal case. It's a major Supreme Court case.
And there's Supreme Court cases about murder. We don't talk about that in class.
What Supreme Court case about murder are you talking about? What?
There's some violent cases out there that you're not going to talk about in school. Obviously, there's certain stuff.
What? Yeah, give me an example of example of a case that is surrounding murder that the schools should not be talking.
No, thank you. I don't feel like it.
Well, of course, because you don't have one.
Here's what I have to say to you. So you're calling me. You're saying what's wrong with you? Because I have a different opinion than you. What the hell? And that's the problem with you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you triggered? Are you a little snowflake? Yeah, I mean, your difference of opinion. I don't mind people having a difference of opinion. I talk to people who have a different opinion than me literally every day of my life. I have no problem with that. But when your opinion is so blatantly anti-LGBTQ, then yes, I'm going to say, what the hell is wrong with you? Because you're not just saying like, oh yeah, hold on. You're not just saying like, yeah, I don't think that like it should be taught to like second graders, which is not already happening in the first place. But you're also going so far as to say, yeah, a major Supreme Court case, a major precedent in the United States should not be talked to high schoolers should not be talked about that or taught that in school, which is insane. It's a major part of America's history. It's a major movement in the United States, and you just want to pretend like it's never happened. It's so blatantly and flagrantly anti-LGBTQ plus. Like, do you think that we should talk about civil rights cases in the classroom?
Well, absolutely. That's way different than LGBTQ.
Okay, so civil rights cases, I totally agree, should be talked about in the classroom. But is protections for LGBTQ plus people not rights in their own way?
No, it is. So do you think Trump is anti? Do you think Trump is anti-LGBTQ?
In some cases, yes, I do think he is.
Why? I don't, because he appointed the first gay cabinet member,
Of course you don't.
which is pretty great.
You said what?
He appointed the first openly gay cabinet member.
Who was
That's
that?
a fact. I don't remember the name, but it's a fact. So
Who?
I'll look it up.
Did he? I don't actually know. I don't know. I don't. I'm genuinely asking. Like, who is this? He did. People are saying it's kind of mixed. He's saying he did. He didn't. I don't recall this. Rick Grinnell. People are saying Grinnell. Maybe. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't typically think about people's sexualities.
And another thing is Biden.
Wait, who is it? Who is it?
Richard Grinnell.
Richard Grinnell. Gotcha. Okay.
And Biden and Obama are on the debate stage saying we are openly against gay marriage. Trump's never said that.
So is Trump.
I've never seen that. I can't believe him saying that.
Trump said in interviews previously that he was anti-gay marriage, but Joe Biden was the first major Democrat to come out in favor of gay marriage. He actually came out in favor of gay marriage before Obama did. But yeah, I mean, if you're just saying like we shouldn't talk about Obergefell or shit like that, then yeah, like that's just like so blatantly LGBT or anti-LGBTQ plus. So
it's not at all. It's not at all.
Yes, it is. Because you're perfectly happy with. Okay, what about the case surrounding contraception? There was a case in the United States. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the name right now. There was a case that legalized contraception federally in the United States. What the fuck is the name? It's gonna kill me. There's a case that legalized contraception federally. Do you think that should be talked about in the classroom?
Yeah, sure.
Griswold, thank you. Okay, so what the fuck? We can talk about cases that legalize contraception, but not cases that give LGBTQ plus people rights?
Well, I mean, when has it been taught in the past 100 years? I don't know why it has to be taught now all of a sudden. I just don't understand. If you want to...
Okay, so wait, hold on. Civil rights and the history of black rights and black voting rights in the United States wasn't taught at one point in the United States, right? In the classroom. It hadn't been taught for a long time, but then we included it in our curriculum. Are you saying that if you existed in a period where the teaching of black history was not included in the classroom, you would have been against it?
I'd never be against that.
Okay, so then why does it... Do you not hear like the ridiculousness of your argument? If your argument is based off of like, oh, we haven't taught this previously, why should we teach it now? That exact same argument would apply to black history back in the civil rights era and even before.
Bro, because we don't have LGBTQ people in slavery or any of that stuff. It was a whole... They face so much... It's so much different, man. I have to tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The struggle has been different.
This is the bottom line. Being LGBTQ...
Hold on. The struggle has been different, but it doesn't mean that difference of struggle means it shouldn't be taught or shouldn't be talked about in history class.
We're still oppressed. How are people in the comments are saying we're still oppressed? I don't know how a gay person in today's world is oppressed.
Yeah, because in some states you can be evicted for being gay. You can be removed from your apartment if your landlord finds out that you're LGBTQ plus. I even think in some states, and I think I just saw Law of the Wild, he can correct me, that you can be fired from your job if you're LGBTQ plus.
Don't work there. That's to do with the owner of the company. What are you going to do, change his mind? That's nothing to do with America, dude. There's people,
okay, wait. Then hold on. Would you then be okay with laws saying that people of color can be fired for being a person of color?
No. Hell no.
Okay, so you're just homophobic. That's what it is at the end of the day. You're just homophobic.
If I was,
you're 100% just homophobic. That's what it is. When it comes to people of color, you're like, yeah, you correctly have the view that they shouldn't be able to be fired just for being people of color, which I would agree with. That's just basic human rights. But when it comes to an LGBTQ plus person, you say, well, just don't work there. Do you not hear the hypocrisy? You obviously have a bias against one group of people that is not clear in other scenarios when we pose a similar hypothetical.
Okay, Harry,
you're just
how about
homophobic.
if you have a racist boss and you're a person of color and the boss is racist? The same exact thing. There's people out there like that, I guarantee it.
Yeah, there are racist bosses out there. Do you think that
Absolutely.
racist boss? Do you think that if a racist boss takes over a company, that they should be able to fire people of color just for being a person of color?
Absolutely not.
Okay, and if a homophobic boss takes over a business, should they be able to fire an LGBTQ plus person just because they're LGBTQ+?
Shouldn't be allowed, but unfortunately,
wait. Answer the question. Answer the question.
No, absolutely not. They shouldn't be allowed to.
Well, you just said that it should be allowed a moment ago.
I did not say that.
Yes, you did.
What the hell? No, I did not. I'm saying that I'm comparing.
Yes, you did. When I just asked
boss.
you, when I just told you that in some states you can be fired for being LGBTQ+, you just said, "Well, don't work there."
I didn't know you want me to tell you, dude. Pass a law then. Why didn't Biden pass a law in the past 4 years to make that illegal?
We've tried. We've tried. Republicans block that policy.
Well, it's definitely not going to happen now. What the hell? So, not
Yeah,
good.
because of folks like you who are just like very openly just homophobic. I mean, that's what it is.
Dude, I'm honestly laughing because I'm not at all. Haven't said one homophobic.
100%. I rarely call somebody like racist or homophobic or xenophobic. It's not words I throw around lightly. It's not words I assign to anybody who just says something that I disagree with. But in this instance, like, your bias against LGBTQ plus people is just very clear.
Because I said it shouldn't be taught in schools. That's the only thing I said.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that you're saying it shouldn't be taught in schools. You're saying that like major legal precedent that involves LGBTQ plus people shouldn't be taught in schools because it includes the conversation surrounding LGBTQ plus people. And you even just said like with if a gay person is fired for being gay, that just don't work.
What if I
there.
said that's so disrespectful to
the two things I just cited to you? And then with other movements in the United States, like with civil rights, with people of color, and I'm sure with women's suffrage, you're perfectly happy with that being taught at schools. But when it comes to a history of the LGBTQ plus community, then you take objection. It's just like there's obviously like a very clear bias you have against certain groups of people. And
I hate to say it, dude, but Michelle in the comments, dude, I don't understand how I'm.
Just stop paying attention to the comments, man.
Yeah, I need because they're getting to me, dude. My gosh.
I know you seem flustered.
Not at all, dude. I'm just trying to be respectful, not homophobic at all. And people are calling me homophobic. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Well,
not at all. If I was homophobic, I'd be saying, yo, fuck you and all of you people. It'd be way different. I've seen a lot of homophobic people.
You don't have to say something explicitly like that to have a bias against some people.
Oh my gosh, these comments, dude, are crazy.
Well, I think they're correctly pointing out that you are homophobic. I agree with a lot of these comments. Now, if somebody's like personally insulting you, like, I'm not there, but you definitely have some bias against these folks.
All right, dude. Well, I try to be respectful. Good debate. You have a great night, man.
All right, Mike. Thanks, man.
Yep,
you have the night you deserve. Yeah, guys. Just I mean, that's what it is, right? At the end of the day, it's just straight up being homophobic. I mean, I think that's abundantly clear. Yo, Justin, thanks for the $5, man. Gay rights are human rights. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Will, thanks for the $2. Harry, thanks for all your hard work this election cycle. The world would be a better place if more people thought like you. Keep pushing for what is right, my man. Will, I appreciate it. And hey, the world would be better if folks thought like you as well, man. It's a tough election, but we build back, we come back. We build back and we come back. Build back better. This saying went at one point. Let's see here. Hold on one sec. Where's this guy? Oh, Jaden. That's the guy I wanted to bring up. I wanted to give him a chance. Mimi, thanks for the $2. Guess I'm not anti-trans. Also guess it's transphobic AF. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much how that conversation went. Rachel. Oh, man.
Hello.
Hold on. Sorry, Rachel. You said don't read aloud. First of all, thank you for the $50 combined. Make sure to show some love for Rachel in the comments for $50 combined in 2 different payments on Cash App. So I appreciate you, Rachel. I don't understand your message though. You see, I don't know how to like respond because I don't know what page you're talking about. If you could like. Maybe send like, I don't know, a penny and like identify the page that you're talking about. Cause I don't know. I didn't see what you're referencing, but I can go look if you'd like. I have my other phone with me right here. Anyway, make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. We do these lives all the time. Let me check where we're at. We're 89 followers away from 500 for the night. So make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. We do these lives all the time, and post videos and all that good stuff. And also make sure to double tap the screen. Let's try to get to 1 million likes. We're like 35,000 away, less than 35,000. So make sure to do that. And of course, Venmo, Cash App, link in bio, and all the social media platforms like Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook are in the link in the bio as well. Jaden,
How's it going, man?
how old are you, bro?
19.
Yeah. You vote for Trump?
I did.
What a terrible disaster. Why?
Wait, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Are you going to fight Bryce Hall?
No.
No?
No.
Is Dean?
I don't think so.
Why do you guys keep calling him out to box?
We don't call him out to box. We call him to debate.
And then Dean said he would box him.
Oh, I can't speak for Dean, but
Would you ever box him?
no, I don't think that's. I don't think it's like worth my time, to be honest.
Why do you want to debate him?
Because he's a huge creator and he, advocates for Donald Trump. So if he's going to do that, I think that he should be able to answer for why he supports Trump.
True. But he's obviously not a debater.
Yeah.
But
If you step into a world where you're like, if you step into politics, you should be able to defend your views. Nobody's forcing him to step into politics. He made that decision willingly. So I think if you're willing to do that and you're willing to, talk to I think he's like over 20 million followers. If you're willing to talk to your over 20 million followers about politics, then you should be able to back up what you say. That's all.
That's true. What would be in it for you?
I don't know. Just another debate.
Oh, do you think it would be a long debate or a short debate?
I have no idea, my man.
All right. Well, you have.
Is that all you wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate it. You have a good one. All right.
You too.
Thanks, man. What an interesting. What an interesting conversation. Yeah. I don't know about all that. Joe is coming up. I think is that a golden retriever or what is that in the profile picture? Leanne, thanks for the $3. What happened to Frozen from way back then? I don't know, honestly. I haven't talked to him. Rachel says, I actually don't have her Insta rate. Oh, I shouldn't have said that out loud. Can you resend it? Because I think it got lost and everything. But I can go scroll. If you want me to, I can go scroll down and find it. Because I told you I would. Anyway, what's up, Joe?
How's it going, boss?
It's going pretty good, man. How about you?
I'm chilling.
Good, man. So you vote for Trump?
Yes, sir.
Terrible. Just terrible. Why?
I don't know. I mean, shoot, you saw it like two. God, I'm sorry. Let me close this door real quick. I don't know if you saw it like 2 days after the election, like the whole world was just reacting to. All right, whatever. The whole world was just reacting to him being elected. Like the stock market surged and everything. It was crazy. So I mean, it just shows that the world wants Trump to be president.
The stock market has been going up for a really long time right now. So it didn't just surge because of Trump. It's been going up like in the past year. I'm looking at it right now. For the S&P 500, it's gone up 1,346 points in the past year. 2 years, 2,000. So it's been going up for some time now. It going up after the election is just another day of trading. There's no data historically that says that a new president being elected has any connection to the stock market or it going up or down is not connected to the president. And also I don't know what you're talking about with, the day after he got elected, the world was just responding and they wanted Trump. Can you give me some examples of that?
I mean, you saw Putin said, I'm ready for some negotiations to end this war. You saw the Houthis, or however the hell you pronounce his name.
Hamas.
Yeah, sure. Those dudes. I mean, I just feel like I'm going to be safer with him in office. I feel like we're not going to be so soft. It's going to be a lot better, I feel.
So, Putin has been, saying this for some time now. This is not something new. So he's just like repeating their position, which is not a real position. They don't actually want to end peace, because if they did, they don't want to bring peace. If they did want to bring peace, they wouldn't be shooting rockets through apartment buildings currently. And also Hamas has been saying the same thing. They've been calling for a ceasefire for quite some time. So that was not because of Donald Trump. And I don't understand the whole "we'll be safer." Crime has gone down every single year of Biden's presidency. That's according to the FBI. More American soldiers died abroad under Donald Trump than they did under Joe Biden. Just don't understand this whole "we'll be more safe" thing, because we clearly weren't under Donald Trump.
I'm pretty sure we were safer. Like, we didn't have millions of illegal aliens coming into our own border. I mean, there was no new wars under Trump. Yeah, you're going to say, yeah, whatever. But, like, you can look back. In 4 years, we started no new wars. Yes, we still had troops abroad. That's whatever. But, I mean, shoot, we had a disgrace of a pullout that left billions of equipment over there that we didn't go back and destroy it like we normally do.
It's not true.
Just left it there.
No, all of this is like just a lot of misinformation. I don't even know where to start. Where would you like me to start? About the things you just said.
You can start wherever you...
So the Afghanistan withdrawal was initiated by Donald Trump. The deal that Joe Biden followed that you're criticizing right now was Trump's deal. It's called the Doha Accords. It was signed by Trump's administration with the Taliban in 2020, specifically February of 2020. And Joe Biden followed this deal. This deal has been criticized by even Donald Trump's own former advisors, like H.R. McMaster, for the pullout being messy. Donald Trump was also partially blamed by the Inspector General of the United States after they did an investigation in our time in Afghanistan for having that bad deal. So, Trump obviously bears some responsibility for this, and his deal being bad. So it's for you to just say, oh, that pullout was so embarrassing because of Joe Biden. It's just completely ignoring the fact that Trump initiated it. And he also had 4 years to get a withdrawal from Afghanistan. 4 years Trump was in office, and he decided to negotiate a deal with the Taliban in 2020, which had us leaving Afghanistan, but also released 5,000 Taliban prisoners. 5,000 Taliban prisoners, which was just not a good deal. So
I don't know, man. I understand that, like, some of these things get placed under the previous administration, but I mean, it's when it happens in the next administration, it reflects them. Yes, if you know inside stuff and it reflects Trump, good for you. But I mean, people are going to see that, oh, Biden's president right now, and this happened under him. So it's going to be like, yeah, that was Biden's fault. But you can correct me. I get it. I heard you.
Yeah, but like ignorance is not a good argument, right? Being like, well, people are going to perceive it to be the case that Joe Biden is responsible for it because it occurred under Biden's presidency. That's not like a good argument. People should make the effort to be informed and look into these things without making statements like, oh yeah, Joe Biden had a disgraceful pullout from Afghanistan and it's his fault. Like, it's just absurd.
I don't know, man. I just personally, I don't know. Shoot, you got me stumped. You got me stumped, brother.
All I'm saying is like, there's no reason to vote for Donald Trump, man. There's never been a reason to vote for Donald Trump. And it's such a shame that like our demographic, which I presume you're like a straight white guy, a young straight white guy, was swung toward Trump. Because, it's really, he's just not going to help us at all. Not going to help us at all. So.
I mean, I grew up in Illinois. You can say that I should be blue, but I mean, I'm in rural Illinois, so I'm red as it can be. Moved to Arkansas, so I mean, shoot. I can't prove you wrong that Trump is terrible, but I mean, I can believe that Trump is going to be the person that's going to swing us in the right direction, you feel?
You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome to believe whatever you'd like. There's no problem there. But in my view, you're basing this belief off of misinformation. That's all. That's what, like, if you like had all the information and you supported Donald Trump, then that's a different level of crazy. What you're doing right now is just, I would argue, and I mean this in the most respectful way possible, like, just misinformed is the reason you support Trump.
Yeah. Shit, I don't know. That's all I got for you, boss man.
All right, Joe. Well, hey, man, I appreciate the conversation, and you take care, all right?
All right, you too, boss.
Thanks. Jeez Louise. Allison, thanks for the $1. What a privilege. Can't read. What a privilege it must be for Joe to feel that he's safer under Trump's presidency. Seriously, American women. Yeah, right. I mean, it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame that, a lot of folks can feel so safe. I'm going to be just fine under Donald Trump. But a lot of these wealthy people will absolutely be just fine under Donald Trump. But everybody else, yeah, man. It's tough. Rebecca, thanks for the $20 gift for intelligence. I appreciate you, Rebecca. Zach Debates is saying he's MAGA, so let's give him a shot. He has debates in his name after all, so see what he got. But of course, make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. We do these lives all the time. Also, we hit 1.1 million likes, which is amazing. So I appreciate all of you for doing that. And Venmo, Cash App, link in bio if you want to support the live. You know the drill. You know the drill by now. I don't got to repeat it. This guy's just not coming up for some reason. He's not. So we'll drop him down. Maybe try to get somebody else. But if you are MAGA, let me know in the chat. I will bring you up. Caden says he's MAGA. Let's send him an invite. Speak to. I don't see your Venmo links. It's at the very bottom of my link tree. You have to scroll all the way to the bottom. Should be there. And could somebody check and if one of the mods maybe, who are, by the way, the best mods ever. We love the mods. They are the goat of mods. Gabby. Oh, there's a MAGA woman. Let's see. I can't invite her up, so hopefully she's just requesting up already. There she is. She is requesting up. So whoever put that in the chat, your wish has been granted. What's up, Gabby?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I've never done this before.
That's okay. It's okay. Welcome. So you voted for Donald Trump?
I did, yes. So
what
disappointing, I know.
Why? Why'd you vote for Trump?
I will say I don't believe he's a good guy, but I think looking back on a lot of other presidents, they've never really been the best people, so I don't really think it's fair to us to judge character. I think my biggest issue is immigration and prices of stuff, wars, and just more technical stuff than emotional stuff, which I feel like I see a lot from the left is they focus on the emotional part of it rather than the I don't know, the actual part of it.
So I want to just start with something that I just always find curious. You say you acknowledge yourself that Trump is not a good person, but wouldn't you also agree that if you acknowledge somebody's a bad person, you don't expect that bad person to make the right choice or be moral?
Wait, what do you mean by that?
If there's somebody in your life that
I'm expecting him to continue to make bad choices?
Correct. Right.
No.
Really? So if there's somebody that's bad, if there's somebody that you think is immoral in your life, right? You think that person is bad and that they're immoral. Are you telling me that you expect that person to make moral decisions?
I think they have the opportunity to. I'm not expecting them to.
Right. But they've previously made bad decisions, which have led you to believe that they are a bad person, right? So
yes.
that's why I don't understand when you say I acknowledge that Donald Trump's a bad person. If you just apply this to your personal life, if you have a bad person in your life, you're not friends with that person. You don't want to engage with that person because you recognize that they're bad and that they make bad decisions. It's just the same reason why you don't get wrapped up with bad people, because you are recognizing that influence on you would be bad. So then why would you then on a presidential level acknowledge that somebody is bad, but then vote for them to be president where they make some of the most important decisions in the world?
Because I just don't understand that. I think that he made way better decisions than Biden did. I think he would make way better decisions than Kamala would. I don't think Trump being bad, quote unquote, and having all these allegations against him, all these court cases and stuff, the way our country is founded is that we believe innocent until proven guilty, and he has not been proven guilty.
Yes, he has.
No, he has not.
Yes, he has.
And what?
He's a convicted felon.
No, he's not.
What rock have you been sleeping under? Yeah, he was convicted of 34 felonies.
No, that judge in Florida overturned that case. And New York is looking at doing the same.
No. The case where he was convicted was not in Florida. The case where he was convicted was in New York City. And the sentencing has been postponed for obvious reasons because Trump has got elected. But it's still going to take place. But no, he's been convicted of 34 felonies beyond a reasonable doubt. He's been proven guilty. Are you genuinely like you don't know that this happened? You didn't see this in the news?
Do you like prefer to go for like personal attacks rather than like facts?
No, I'm genuinely like this was a huge news story. So I'm asking like genuinely like are you making an argument that you think that the case was faulty, or are you just saying like no, this actually never happened, he was never convicted?
To my knowledge, he was not convicted. It was like placed in court, but it wasn't finalized.
So, okay. All right. Well.
Where's that from?
This is the Associated Press. Or you can, go to the Manhattan District Attorney's office, who, was behind the conviction of Trump. So he quite literally is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. He was found guilty of 34 felonies.
Okay, well, regardless, I still voted for him, and I stand by that.
So you don't stand by innocent until like they don't actually care about that. He could be guilty, and you still don't care.
No.
Do you see how that's bad? Do you see how that's like a really bad precedent to set for a country that somebody could be guilty of a crime and you just?
I really don't. No.
So like Trump could break any law, you wouldn't care?
No.
Okay. So with this law that he was convicted of specifically, he covered up a payment that he made to an adult actress that he had an affair with to interfere with the 2016 election so that his election prospects were preserved, which is election interference. I think that interfering with an election is pretty bad. I think that if somebody does that, they shouldn't be president of the United States. Would you agree or disagree?
What do you think about Kamala going on SNL the week before the election? That was election interference because they didn't give Trump the same opportunity.
I can't even believe what I've just heard, to be honest. So I think that when somebody's like committing a crime to interfere in an election, that is, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, that is vastly different than somebody going on SNL. Like what? I don't even know how that's like similar, to be honest.
So then what about like the 15 million Democratic voters that didn't show up for 2024 election? What about that?
That's not true.
Where'd they go?
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
Joe Biden, no, it's not. Joe Biden got 81 million votes. As it stands, Kamala Harris has 74 million votes, and there's still around 2% of the votes have to be counted. Most of them are coming from California. So Kamala Harris's vote total is going to go up by a decent amount still. And Joe Biden, if he got 81 million votes and Kamala Harris is currently sitting at 74, that means she only got 7 million less votes than Joe Biden did. And so obviously there's not going to be the same amount of voters in every single election. So this is just like not true. I'm looking at the numbers like right in front of me. But okay.
Okay.
I don't get the whole like you don't care that Trump's a criminal. You don't care that he broke the law at all?
I don't think that he actually broke the law, no.
Why? Okay. So why do you think that?
I just think it's a whole bunch of BS that people have taken him to court over to stop him from being president because they're scared of him being president.
So do you know any of the evidence against Donald Trump?
I'll be honest, no, I don't. I know a little bit, but not a ton.
So how can you make a determination of like, oh, he's actually not guilty, they were just going after him? Don't you think it's a really bold claim to make if you don't know the evidence against Trump?
I do, yes.
So then why would you make that claim?
Well, I don't know. We're talking about it. What else am I supposed to say?
You could say that you could also just aside with the American justice system, which in many other cases you do all the time, right? If somebody's convicted of killing somebody, you wouldn't say, well, I think that's a rigged trial. But with Donald Trump, you think it's rigged. You think that it was like set up against him. But the American justice system spoke, right? There was a jury of 12 people who were chosen by Trump and the prosecution, and they found him guilty of every single felony charge.
Okay.
So I don't know why you'd just be like, oh yeah, that's automatically rigged just because Trump was found guilty. Like, can you not step outside of like being a Trump supporter for a second and just be like an American?
I would not consider myself a Trump supporter now. I would say I'm Republican, but not a Trump supporter.
I don't know. I mean, you're claiming that his trials are rigged. You said you'd vote for him even if it's a felon. You don't care. Seems like you might be a Trump supporter. Anyway, whatever. However you'd like to define yourself. Step outside of your Trump voter hat for a second and just look at what, we're discussing here. Can't you see how voting for somebody proudly, saying like, I don't care if they've been convicted of crimes, and if they are convicted of crimes, it must be rigged. And saying, yeah, I don't care about that, I'm going to vote for them anyway. Don't you see how that's a bad precedent to set, no matter who it is?
No.
So you're okay with like politicians committing crime?
When you say it like that, it makes it so different. But I mean, I just think, to go back to what I said originally, I think all of this against him was rigged. And I think they were doing it to keep him out of office.
Why? Like, I don't understand why you just keep saying you think it's rigged. I was trying to get you away from that point because I don't even think you know why you think it's rigged. But if you want to go back to it, we can't. Why was it rigged? What evidence do you have that it was rigged?
The fact that there's literally 34 counts, like, that's insane. That has to be made up.
So, but just a reminder, he was found guilty of every single one. So clearly there was sufficient evidence for every single charge.
So then why isn't he in jail?
Because sentencing hasn't happened yet, because he keeps getting it postponed, and him being elected president postponed it even further.
So then what are you going to do when the New York judge drops this case?
Why would the New York judge drop this case?
He's been talking about it.
No, they've not been talked about it. The only thing that the judge is reviewing right now is how it conflicts with the Supreme Court's ruling on immunity. We don't even have to get into that. Save ourselves a headache. But it's not like, oh, I'm debating whether dropping this case or not.
Okay, well, anyways.
That's just like, okay. So, all right. So I know you mentioned issues that you voted for Donald Trump based off of. We can talk about those or we can leave it there. It's up to you.
No, let's talk about it. This is fun.
Okay. Which issue would you like to talk about that you mentioned? You can
Immigration.
Immigration. All right. So why would you vote for Donald Trump based off of immigration?
I don't think the border should be open.
Why do you think the border's open?
Why do I think they're open?
Yeah. Like, what did Joe Biden do to open the border?
Well, they got rid of like a whole bunch of stuff that Trump set into office and like all those laws and stuff. That was like one of the first things they did was overturn those.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
I don't know. I can't give you specifics.
Yeah, because it didn't actually happen. Like the laws have not changed. So there was executive orders that Trump had in place, but the executive orders are not broad. They're not far-reaching. So, for example, remain in Mexico is something that Donald Trump had.
Okay, wait. I can think of something. What about DNA testing?
DNA testing is still happening at the border.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It expired and then it was reinstated by Biden. So it is happening. But anyway, with my example of remain in Mexico, it only affected like 70,000 people. So it wasn't broad. It wasn't far reaching. It had a lot of legal issues. It wasn't even in use by the end of the Trump administration. So that being overturned by Biden obviously has no major impact on immigration. But in terms of the laws at the border, the laws have not changed. They are the exact same laws as they were under Donald Trump. And the border has more funding than ever before in American history. So Biden hasn't done anything to open the border. There's just been an influx of migrants in recent years because of external factors, those being the pandemic, which has forced people out of their home country due to economic collapse and them, trying to seek new opportunity. And then also geopolitical conflict that's taking place in Venezuela and other countries around the world, which is also forcing people out of their hometowns, their home countries. And that was just like a perfect storm for people to come to the border under Biden. But nothing Biden has done, nothing that Harris has done, nothing that the Democrats have done, have opened the border or made it easier for people to come in. Matter of fact, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have introduced a number of pieces of immigration policy, including a policy that was written by Democrats and Republicans to address this problem, and it's been blocked by Republicans every single time.
So then why didn't they continue to build the wall? What happened with that?
Because the wall's a useless policy. It's going to cost like billions of dollars, and it's not going to solve the root of the problem. The root of the problem right now is not people just walking over the border who are undocumented. The root of the problem is is asylum. And what asylum is basically is it's somebody coming to the border and claiming that they're being persecuted in their home country based on a protected trait, right? It could be a religion. It could be anything that's like, not anything, but most things that are identity based. And they're saying that, hey, I need to claim refuge in the United States. That's a legal process. They are legally allowed to do that. That's protected under American law and international law. And a lot of people in the past couple of years have been abusing that system, but they're allowed to abuse it given the current law. So Biden and Harris tried to rewrite the asylum laws to make it harder for people to do that and make sure it only applies to people that actually need it. And Republicans blocked them from doing that.
Okay, I just have one question for you, though. Sure. How much did the Harris administration pay you to endorse them during the election?
$1 trillion, gazillion, bazillion, bajillion dollars. No, they paid me $0. I've been in Democratic politics since I was like 16, working on a local level. So I just passionate about politics. There's no, trust me, you don't have to pay me to endorse a Democrat.
Okay, well, I will admit that you know a lot more than I do. I don't really know what I'm talking about. However, okay. This was fun. And we'll chat again sometime, Harry.
All right, Gabby, you're welcome back anytime, all right?
Bye.
Bye, thank you. Hold on. I don't even know what to say, bro. Abigail, thanks for the 38 cents. Oh, fuck, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't read. You know what? I won't read your message out loud because I didn't read the first line. I apologize. Yeah, I know exactly. It's insane, isn't it? Autumn, thanks for the $5. Trump isn't the only criminal since you stole my heart. Okay, you know, Autumn, I like that one, Autumn. I like that one. That's up there for best ones of the night. I appreciate. I like that. Natasha, thanks for the $40. Oh my God, Natasha, yo, get some W's in the chat for Natasha. This is incredibly kind. I appreciate you. Throw some W's in there. Thanks for all that you do. My B-Day was November 6th. Happy belated birthday. And I know it was a rough day, one that I'll never forget. Continue to educate everyone. I've learned so much from you. And Dean and Parker, I know you all do the best the next 4 years. I'm jealous you met Obama. Well, Natasha, thank you so much. I'm sorry that your birthday wasn't better, but you know, happy belated. And I hope you're doing well after everything. I know it can be tough. So thank you for your support and just thank you for being here. It means a lot. Shaney, thanks for the $10. Women who vote for Trump terrify me. The friendly fire is too strong. I don't get it either. You know, most of the people that come up here are men. I'd say they're mostly like younger men or like middle-aged men who are Trump supporters. And every once in a while, we do have a woman who voted for Trump. And that truly does baffle me. Not that they don't have the right to do that. They can vote for, obviously anybody can vote for whoever they want. But it shocks me. Verna, thanks for the $5. Parker said today that you're the nicest between the four, you, Parker, Dean, and Chris. Interesting. Well, I appreciate shout out Parker. I'd say Parker's the nicest one. Are you kidding? I think Parker's the nicest one out of us four. That guy is genuinely just like a really good person, like a really good soul. And I'm not even just saying that. Like I've met Parker. I've talked to Parker personally behind the scenes. Like he's a really nice guy. And like Chris and Dean both are also really just nice guys behind the scenes. Like they actually care. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. And I appreciate Parker. Hummus, thanks for the $2. Thanks for the great content, friend. Random question. Do you have any favorite bands? You strike me as someone who would enjoy Midwest, emo, or punk. None of the above, actually. Favorite bands. I don't really have bands, I guess. I listen to a lot of musicians though that I have. Like I was just listening to Shabuzi, or anybody know Shabuzi? He released a new song, Good News. I was listening to that on Spotify today. It's a really good song. I was listening to Mac Miller with the new announcement that there's another Mac Miller song or album coming out. I was listening to Kid Laroi and Slow It Down. This new song is also great. Light Again by Lil Nas X. I was listening to that. I've also noticed that a bunch of people have been following me on Spotify. Fun fact. Anyway, just something I noticed. It's funny. Amanda, thanks for the $1. This is the information that they say on Fox News and why Kamala lost. Oh, exactly. Oh my God. Wait, hold on. I'll talk to you guys about the Mac Miller album in a second. I want to get through these though, but yes. I agree. Exactly. Fuck. Oh my God. Yeah, I totally agree. I could talk about that for hours, but I appreciate it. Elizabeth, thanks for the $1. Thanks for everything you do. I have some questions if that's okay. What's your favorite part about what you do? Did you go to school? And if so, did you debate? My favorite part, I think, is like talking to people. You know what I mean? Like, not even like these debates, but when I talk to people who are like supporters or people who are interested in politics, or like people that are younger than me, people that are older than me that are interested in politics, it's just like, and like watch my content, that really moves me. And also like, you know, people who are just like genuinely fighting, it really means a lot. So I think that's my favorite part. And I've never done debate. I've never been part of a debate team. I never did mock trial, never did anything like that. Never been trained. So yeah. Gerard, thanks for the $20. I appreciate that so much, man. Thank you so much. As an immigrant, this was my second time voting in a presidential election. I was proud to vote for Kamala Harris in deep red Utah. Keep fighting the good fight, Harry. Yeah. Sorry it couldn't go our way, ma'am. But hey, I appreciate you voting and getting out there. And thank you for your support. It means a lot. I really, really appreciate that. Priscilla, thanks for the $5. Refer to my last comment. What was your last comment, Priscilla? I'm not seeing it right here, but if you want to remind me, I'm happy to read it again. And Ariana, I appreciate that. $15. Random. Hi, I'm Ari. I'm in college and I don't really have friends. I sort of use your lives when I'm doing homework to not be alone. So thanks for that random filling of a silent void. If you want to be friends, my IG's Ari Johnson. We're the same age. Consider this an app. Hey, listen, you don't need friends. You know what I'm saying? One of the most difficult things in life, I'm about to drop some wisdom. One of the most difficult things in life that I think everybody has to go through at some point is learning how to be alone. And learning to be happy by yourself. Because if you can't be happy by yourself, you'll never be happy. So if, you know, maybe you're a more like solitude person, more of an introvert. If you can learn to like be happy with yourself, you'll be way happier than anybody else. Because a lot of people use people to fill voids. And then they never learn how to be like okay with themselves. So Ari, you're probably like more emotionally mature than a lot of people your age. So keep that in mind. There's always a bright spot, I'm telling you. And Daisy, thanks for the $1. Sad you don't listen to 70s, 80s rock. I do. Don't get me wrong. I do. Maxon, thanks for the $1. I can't read that out on TikTok Live, but I appreciate you. Laura, thanks for the $2. It's so sad how they all think this is a big joke. That's also very frustrating. I totally agree. Gabrielle, thanks for the $1. Democrat Gabby, Harry, I appreciate you so much. Gabrielle, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being here. It really means a lot. And Jessica says, MAGA 2020, if you F your feelings, MAGA 24, feelings first. Okay. You seem like a lovely person to be around. All right. Make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. We do these lives all the time. Means a lot. Also, double tap the screen. Let's try to get to 1.5 million likes. Why not? And can the lighting fix itself? I hate when it does this. And also Venmo, Cash App, link in bio. It means a lot. If you want to support the live, and all the socials are in the bio. You know, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, all that good stuff. Anyway, all right. Yeah, if you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. I'll bring you up and you can tell me why you're MAGA. Also, I don't know if Rachel is still here, Rachel Johnson, but I never got that username. So if you're still here, you can I know I said I would, so I want to make sure I live up to my promise. So anyway, let's let me know if you're MAGA. I'll bring you up. Joe Santana. I think I've added this guy before, but he has a Trump profile picture.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, we did speak before.
What's up, man?
Hey, just got a couple questions. The first question is just in general. So obviously most people that are going to be on these lives are not going to be nearly as educated as you on these topics.
Sure.
I know Democrats, occasionally, for the most part, not really. Well, you're very educated. I give you credit for that. So, like, you're a good voice for your cause, for your side, even though on the other side, I think, you know, you do it well. But with that said, I'm not trying to be facetious. I generally mean that. With that said, I see Democrats, obviously, when we vote, we win, right? They obviously want the majority of the country voting. Majority of the country, they're focusing on their jobs, they're focusing on their, you know, day-to-day life. Obviously, they're not going to be as educated as you. And if they come on here, you're going to catch them with, oh, you don't know this policy or that policy. So do you think the majority of people should be voting, or should they just sort of like, if they're not as educated as, you know, all you, Parker, everyone who does these, you know, like What do you think?
No, I think they should still vote.
Okay, cool.
That's all I think they should still vote. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, cool. I agree. Now, as for, I see two of the criticisms are Trump is a rapist, the E. Jean Carroll case, and also the idea he's a felon. Those are like two reasons which I constantly see why you shouldn't vote for him. So, Nelson Mandela, for example, he was a felon. Did he not have the right to be president of South Africa?
No, I think that it's like it's circumstantial. So Nelson Mandela was. Would you agree that he was wrongly convicted?
It was obviously he lived in a racist time where even though he committed a crime, of course he was right. So
wrongly convicted. And wouldn't you say that there's ample evidence to support him being wrongly convicted? Like, i.e. racism being the main driver of that?
Sure. No, I would agree.
Sure. But so that's the difference between like Nelson Mandela and Trump's convictions. With Trump's convictions, there was ample evidence that he broke the law. And it's also the case that there's not just ample evidence that he broke the law once. There's ample evidence that he broke the law many, many, many times. And a lot of the charges he was facing was really serious. So it wasn't like this is he's the victim of a political persecution or a race-based persecution or anything like that, or just an unfair prosecution generally. This is somebody who just broke the law, and I don't think that we should have people who just break the law so flagrantly in the Oval Office. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Well, so I think I'll explain it from the perspective of somebody who voted Trump, right? Well, first of all, almost every civil rights leader has been arrested multiple times. I mean, Martin Luther King Jr. Who is the other one? The one who was more
Malcolm X.
Yeah, so he was actually a convicted felon, I believe, or definitely convicted of crimes. You have with the sit-ins with John Lewis, right? He was also arrested multiple times. My point is that the way
why were they arrested? What were they doing?
Right, so they were exactly. So my point is they were protesting for civil rights, for the actually with Malcolm X, it was for I think arson or something. I was a little more serious than that, more than just protesting. Obviously, he believed in violence to get his cause. My point is that for the part of the country, obviously you disagree with them that voted Trump, right? They just see it as now that the system, right? Because most of the system was not for him when Biden was in office, that if they want to turn their eyes on anyone, they could make basically, if anybody is famous, who done a lot of business, and you want to look at them, you could also convict them of crimes if you want to look at them.
That's incredibly dumb. If somebody committed crimes, they should be convicted of crimes. It's that simple. So if you're like super rich and famous and you've committed crimes, like really not just like again jaywalking, but you've committed like really serious crimes, felony crimes, then wouldn't you agree that the system should go after them?
Well, I think an ideal system is to go after everyone who committed a crime. Obviously.
Right. That's the point. Don't you think if somebody, screw the rich and famous stuff. If somebody breaks the law, like a felony level law, don't you think that the system should hold them accountable?
Sure, absolutely. But at the same time, obviously, Republicans will say that Hillary committed a crime with deleting all her emails and cheat.
Yeah, except there's just not evidence to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. So like Republicans can say that Joe Biden broke the law because he looked funny one day. But does that mean anything? Is there actually evidence that Joe Biden broke the law? No. Right? They can say, oh, Hillary Clinton broke the law, but there have been multiple FBI investigations into this. And the Republican FBI director came to the conclusion that Hillary Clinton did not break the law. And so it's just different. And comparing like civil rights leaders and their criminal record to Trump is insane. Because last time I checked, Martin Luther King and other civil rights leaders, when they got like arrested for sit-ins, when they were doing that, they weren't stealing national defense information or paying an adult actress to interfere with the 2016 election or overturning an election generally to help their cause,
Obviously, I agree that they're not comparable, like the crimes. And my point is that when the way Republicans look at it is that whoever has power at that time, if they want to turn their eyes on anyone that they don't like, right? Back in the day, obviously the FBI was, I call it racist or whatever, all these systems that were in place a lot more than they are today. And they decided we want to convict these people of crimes, and they're able to do it. So the way Republicans look at it is that you have a whole side of the country right now that who has the power, which for the most part, and now it's more Democrats, it kind of switched. Republicans used to have that kind of power, and they were the ones doing censorship, and now it's switched. And now they're doing the same thing, basically. So that's the way Republicans look at it. They look at it as a political thing. But Well, okay.
Like, it's just that simple. Like, if you can keep saying like, oh, Republicans look at it this way, but if the Democrats looked at, we all thought that unicorns existed. The justification isn't just, well, that's the way we look at it. You'd be like, well, no, you're batshit crazy. Unicorns obviously don't exist. Same thing with the Republicans. If they're saying, well, they're just using the levers of power to go after Donald Trump, it's like, okay, you have the right to look at it from that perspective, but that's just objectively false.
Okay, fair. Okay, I want to ask you about the E. Jean Carroll case, right?
Yeah.
So that's another area where we could look at that also, where it's being a little bit of a political, witch hunt. Well,
how exactly?
No, because, okay, so let's go back to, for example, Kamala Harris, right? And I understand it's not exactly the same. Bill Clinton was campaigning for her, right? She accepted him campaigning for her.
Aside, just tell me how it's a witch hunt.
Well, okay. First of all, it was civil. It was a civil case. It wasn't a criminal case, right?
Yes.
Civil case. The proof the evidence has to be above like 50%. It doesn't have to be beyond a reasonable doubt. That's one.
It's more likely than not. That's the standard.
Sure. And number two, what was the actual evidence presented? Because I looked into the case, and the only evidence I was able to see was basically witness testimony, her own testimony. There was no actual evidence that was provided. And as for the DNA sample, right? Because that was the thing. Trump did eventually agree to give it, and the judge declined it. He said at this point it's too late.
Yeah.
And by the way, do you know what kind of DNA was actually found on the dress?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was just general DNA. It wasn't like sperm or anything, which I don't know if I can say on TikTok.
Yeah. There was no sperm. It was basically skin cells that was found.
Yeah,
and by the way,
that still proves her point, because her argument was that Donald Trump's argument was that he never met her, and if his skin cells are on her dress, a dress she was wearing that day. I mean, let's put two and two together here, right? So I'll try to work in the way that you said it. So there was a number of pieces of evidence presented. As you mentioned, there was witness testimony. There was a psychologist that testified. Her psychologist testified. The psychologist that testified about her said that during her testimony, her body language exhibited all of the traits of somebody who's experienced serious trauma. That it wasn't fake. She wasn't like playing it up, that this is somebody who like genuinely experienced something very traumatic. So you have that, and you have a psychologist she talked to about this. You have her friends who she relayed the story to, exactly the same to both of them. Of course, they testified under oath. You had some Bergdorf Goodman employees testify about how on the floor that they were on, cameras typically weren't used, and a lot of the changing rooms were unlocked, that they were, theoretically somebody could have gone in there, and employees typically didn't staff that floor all that much, making it entirely possible that her story lined up. And Donald Trump also pretty much shot himself in the foot a number of times over the trial, because he said, one, I never met her. There's actually a photo of them together. Also, he has a pattern of sexual assault and being accused of sexual assault, and even on audio bragging about sexual assault. So establishes a pattern of behavior. And then, of course, the factor in the dress, which you mentioned. So as there was male DNA found on the dress. They asked for Donald Trump's DNA. He refused to give it over. And I think any good defense lawyer would tell you, hey, if you are absolutely certain that it's not your DNA, you should give it over, because it could help exonerate you. But if you're not certain that it is your DNA, or excuse me, if you're not certain that anyway, you know what I mean, then you should not give it over. And so Trump decided not to. And I think that in and of itself is quite a fishy explanation. And he waited 3 years after being asked repeatedly to give his DNA over. He refused. But then after the time passed for the discovery phase, he then decided to turn around and say, oh, I'll give my DNA. This was all politics. It's all games. He knew that the discovery period had passed. It passed quite a bit ago, but he decided to try to save face by saying, oh, now I'll give my DNA. Knowing that it was not going to be admitted whatsoever, because as I mentioned, the discovery period had passed. So that's the summary.
Right. Well, okay. So no store employees actually testified. No store employees that worked there at that time. No, from that day, store employees who worked in the store testified that this is how the store operated. Right, but nobody who actually worked there. So I think that's a little misleading to say store employees that were there.
But
they weren't there
just
that
to be
day.
clear, did you agree that Bergdorf Goodman employees testified at this trial, right? I also don't know if that's... Anyway, continue.
Well,
but you'd agree, yes?
I looked it up on Politico, and it at least that was a source I saw, and that yes, I agree that they testified store employees who worked at a location, but they weren't or maybe that location, but not specifically who were there that day. There was no store employees who were there that day that testified, and we could search that up. But That's what I.
No, I know.
I
but I never claimed that they were there that day. That's not what I said. I just said that these people testified.
Right, but do you think it's a bit? Sure, fair enough. Do you think it's a bit odd that in a luxury store where things cost on average, I don't know, $2,000 to $5,000? I looked that up as well. That they're not watching two people, a man and woman, could just go to the dressing room and nobody there that day. There was no cameras or nobody there that day. It's a luxury store. Remember, there's cameras in all over the place. So it's just a little odd that it wasn't the 90s, but cameras, CCTV footage still existed back then. Or just the idea of being able to, I go to H&M and there's usually always an employee by the dressing room to let you in.
Yeah, it's 2024, my man. So department stores have not been the same for their entire existence. So in the 1990s, also, again, we have Bergdorf Goodman employees testifying at how these changing rooms on the 6th floor were typically very open, that you can kind of just walk in and do what you got to do and then leave. And that there was very little employee presence on the floor. And it was also just a different time. So in 2024, things are a lot more secure in stores. You have a lot more employees. You have CCTV cameras everywhere. But that's 2024. This was in the mid 1990s. So I think you being I go into H&M today is just a silly argument.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's go back to even the DNA evidence, for example. That dress, by the way, the DNA evidence, it was skin cells that was found, and they found from multiple people, including women. I think more of the people, 3 out of 5 versus 3 out of 4, were from women. It means you could shake her hand and she could touch her dress, and that could still transfer evidence. So it wasn't semen or anything. And I think it was on the sleeve as well. So this wasn't the way they make it sound is semen was found and it was from multiple people.
You're saying this is the way that makes it found, but Trump's claim is that he never met E. Jean Carroll, right? He never met her, doesn't know her. But if his skin cells were found on the dress of which she was wearing the day she claims and proved that she was assaulted, then that debunks his claim. And that's a huge piece of evidence in favor of her.
Well, if I went to a Harry Styles concert and I took a picture with him, it means he would remember me. So it's 30 years ago. It's very reasonable for him to claim that I don't remember ever meeting her. I never met her. We know Trump speaks in a little exaggerations, but it's not that's one thing.
There's a photo of them together.
Well, yes, I know. I'm aware because she was a wealthy, or married to somebody wealthy, and I guess Trump went to these events all the time. It doesn't mean he has to remember who he was in a picture with. That's. But also another point.
Why would his skin cells be on her dress?
Well, it wasn't found on the dress. He didn't submit that.
No, I know. But I'm saying, first of all, I think we can reasonably conclude as to why Donald Trump didn't give his DNA over.
Well, not necessarily. Well, she actually, a part of that report, they left out the appendix. Or the
appendix is not. We had this debate on this live at a different time. The appendix doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't tell you any major information about how they conducted it and whatnot. It's think of it like a book where you have the beginning telling you all the chapters. That's basically what the appendix was lacking, and it's not necessary for them to make a conclusion based off the evidence. But what do you genuinely in your mind? Why would Trump? What's a reasonable explanation, the most reasonable in your view, for Trump not giving his DNA over? Because if it's not his DNA, it would help him, right? So why wouldn't he?
Yeah, but first of all, I think sometimes you don't want to give credence to something that you don't actually believe is you. So he might, let's say, write the DNA.
Do you hear yourself? You don't have to suck up to this guy at every point. You don't have to give credence to something you don't believe. This man is in court, right? So whether you believe the trial against you is valid or not, you engage in that trial to have your innocence. What?
No, for sure. He did at a later date agree to do it. That's one thing. He did.
But
the judge didn't accept it.
No, please.
He agreed. No, the judge didn't accept it.
No, please stop lying. Because I just explained this to you, that if you would have researched this, you would see that this was past the discovery date, well past the discovery date. He had 3 years. And then suddenly when the discovery date ends, and the judge has made it very clear the discovery period had ended, then he decides to submit his DNA. Come on, man. He did not try to give his DNA over. If he wanted to do that, would have done it the 3 years before. I just don't understand. This is a case of which Donald Trump was found liable by the entire jury for assaulting a woman, and you have to try to do these mental gymnastics to justify it.
No,
why?
No. So look, I am not. Well, okay. I think part of it is because the idea of the moral high ground, right? So Democrats always like to play the moral high ground that we believe women, whatever. But whenever it was their politicians, in many instances, not always, but in many instances, and by the way, Roy Moore, for example, was not elected in Alabama because it's not the Republicans just, right? So let me just explain. So for example, all right, Bill Clinton, he had to settle with the women, and not for consensual. I'm not talking about Monica Lewinsky, which we could say, is an imbalance of power. The fact that he's the president, she's an intern, that's already, I think most the feminist line of thought wouldn't approve of that. But I'm talking about Paula Jones. She accused him of SA. Juanita Broderick, she accused him as well. It didn't seem like Democrats really cared about it. And when he was campaigning for Hillary in 2016, and by the way, those same women said, because I remember that election with versus Trump, and they're all saying the same thing, that Trump, has these allegations. But then when it came to Bill Clinton and Hillary, those same women, Juanita Broderick, for example, she claimed that she was silenced by Hillary. When they asked Hillary, why did you silence, or why are you not believing these women? She says, well, we need evidence. She was on video saying that, well, only if we have evidence. So it's a little bit of a change of pace. And by the way, Bill Clinton, I'm not going back to 50 years ago. He campaigned for Kamala. I don't know why she would accept his campaigning or want him to campaign for her when he has about 5 women. You could check this out. Kathleen.
Wait, are you saying that's bad of Bill Clinton to have? So then why would you vote for Trump? Right. I would agree that I think that anybody who an accusation is made against, that should be fully investigated if there's evidence to prompt, enough evidence to prompt an investigation. Right. I'm not saying that random person says something bad that it should be investigated. But if you're making this claim against Bill Clinton, Trump has over 26 sexual assault allegations and has been found liable in court by an entire jury for doing this. So if you're trying to make this argument, it's oh, well, Bill Clinton has this. Number one, he's not running for president. But number two, you voted for somebody who has 5 times the amount of accusations that he does.
Well, so the point I'm making is that it seems like Democrats they're using this when there's politics involved, it seems like they're using it to leverage their own case. When you would have the same shoe on the other foot, all of a sudden they start looking, well, is there evidence? Is there this? I mean, I remember when Al Franken, he was accused of, SA or whatever it was. There was a lot of pushback on the left that we need. It just, whenever it's on their side, they don't say. And by the way, we could even talk about, Joe Biden. Do you think it's appropriate that as almost an 80-year-old man, and this is on video, he's touching little girls, kissing them on the back of them? No, there's videos of them doing this.
Yeah, no, all these videos that you've shown, or all these videos that people talk about, they're just not inappropriate. People like to overplay things or over exaggerate things that Joe Biden has done, but no, absolutely not. Joe Biden hasn't done anything inappropriate with any little girls. I mean, it's just it's really gross to even go there. And again, Donald Trump's the guy who has bragged about walking in on teenagers changing when he owned beauty pageants because he quote unquote owned the place. He told a 10-year-old girl that he'd be dating her in 10 years, which is incredibly predatory. He talked about his 1-year-old daughter having a chest and gestured to himself saying, we don't know if she has this yet, about his 1-year-old daughter. So please, spare me the whole, I think Joe Biden did this. You voted for this guy who bragged about walking in on teenagers changing when he was a weird 50-year-old man.
I don't deny the fact that first of all, it's a binary choice. I can only vote for Trump versus Trump or Harris. So okay. And I say I shouldn't vote for him, but either way, it was a binary choice. It wouldn't be my first choice if I'm voting in a primary. But either way, he was the candidate at this point, and there's a lot at stake for the country. But my point is, Republicans don't claim to. They're not the ones saying that believe all women no matter what. We've always believed there has to be evidence. Democrats are the ones pushing that, no, believe women no matter what. But at the same time, when it's their candidates doing that, again, it was Bill Clinton. I don't know why he's still campaigning out there. But even Joe Biden, I assure you, if you search it up, if you Google it now, or whatever, you will find videos.
I always just think this talking point's absurd.
Why? Okay, so if you're at a family function, you have a little kid, and you have someone who's not even related to her. A little girl's 4 or 5, and there's a guy touching her shoulder, sniffing her hair, kissing her on the head. You would think that's appropriate? When did that become appropriate?
Joe Biden wasn't sniffing hair. He wasn't doing any of that. That's just complete fabrication.
It's literally on video. The girl's moving her head away from him as he's kissing her.
Yeah, that video that you're talking about, was she a more kind of blondish redhead woman?
I think it was a little girl, but I don't remember exactly.
Well, there was a video out there that Republicans cited of like, oh, Joe Biden's being weird. That was the daughter of a senator who was being sworn in, and it got these attacks toward her, and Joe Biden got so bad that she had to put out a statement saying that she wasn't uncomfortable and that Joe Biden wasn't sniffing her hair. He was actually whispering words of encouragement in her ear and congratulating her and her family for his dad now becoming a United States senator. So this is just an example of how like Republicans completely misinterpret videos to try to paint a narrative about Joe Biden. And once again, they cover up for their own guy, the guy who is your profile picture, might I add, who has bragged once again about walking in on teenagers changing and has talked very inappropriately about his own family members as young as 1 year old, even Ivanka saying he'd date her. So I just find this to be so it's just like silly. It's just like silly that if you actually cared about this, you would never be voting for Donald Trump.
Well, no, again, the idea is...
Oh, wait, one last thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. One last thing. The claim from Democrats has never been, we believe everybody, no matter what, no questions asked. That has never been the claim from Democrats. We, the Democrats, are saying women should be listened to and their claims should be investigated. But we always stand with evidence, right? We're always of the view that evidence has to be presented. And that, these claims, you can't just have like a random person out there saying, oh, I think Donald Trump did something bad. Right? No, Democrats are, if some random person out there is just saying, oh, yeah, I think Donald Trump did something bad, the Democrats are not going to be like, yeah, okay. Like, we have to believe them. But we are saying that women should be listened to, that their claims should be investigated, that they should be respected, that these investigations should be given the respect that they deserve. That's all.
Well, I know you're a bit younger, but the Me Too movement, when that all came out and everything, that was like, no, they were saying that the assumption is in the past that you have to have evidence, right? And their whole idea of the culture change was now when women say something, believe them unless proven otherwise. So the assumption is you believe them, not in a criminal court, but in the court of public opinion. That was the whole push of what the Me Too movement did, because like, why would a woman lie about this? And I agree. Listen, yeah, I think in my personal life, obviously, I wouldn't doubt it. Whatever, it doesn't really matter what I think anyway, because like I'm just one person here, but I wouldn't doubt them. But my point is, I think Democrats have a lot of responsibility for muddying the waters when these claims are only taken seriously when it's against the Republican. Because again, I'm old enough to remember. I mean, okay, so how do you explain in 2016 when Hillary is running for president, you have women who were the victim of SA from Bill Clinton? There's about five, I think at least five notable ones, and there's actually many more. If you look at it, I forget exactly, but I read it. I think there's up to even 20 names if you go back at it. He was campaigning for Hillary. Hillary never accepted responsibility for. She even laughed, I think, about an SA victim who was, and she's on camera doing that, or a recording of her doing that. Back then, I just remember it was only a one-sided thing. They were talking about the things that Trump did, but they never held him responsible. Bill Clinton, like, is he?
Wait, so just out of curiosity, like, what would you want Hillary Clinton to do in that situation? Like, Bill Clinton's not running for president. Donald Trump was. So I don't know why you'd expect the media to cover allegations against Bill Clinton years ago that had already been settled. And I mean, like, years ago, like well over a decade ago, versus the Republican nominee for president who was accused credibly, obviously, of sexual assault. Like, I don't even understand what the objection is here. Like, Democrats take this very seriously. As somebody pointed out in the chat, Al Franken resigned, right? Al Franken stepped down. And Joe Biden, when everything that with Tara Reid came out, which eventually got debunked, was like, I respect an investigation. Investigate. I have no problem. And Democrats were saying, investigate. We have no problem. Like, if Joe Biden did something wrong, no problem. We will not support him. But Republicans are saying, no, we don't believe it. You came up in this live and have been arguing against the validity of the E. Jean Carroll case, regardless of a lot of evidence and kind of making assumptions, jumping through hoops to try to justify it. The Democrats take this stuff far more seriously than Republicans do. That's all. And I please, like, what would you want Hillary Clinton to do at that point?
Well, I mean, first of all, she was running in the primaries. I think it's a little interesting choice that the Democratic voters, they had a lot of options and they chose her. They could have went with Bernie that year, who I think would have been a better candidate anyway, better for the country, but that's a whole other story. They chose her even with Bill campaigning for her and everything. And they should have been like, well, you're disqualified because you are covering up for an essay for abuser. And by the way, not all the victims got, like Juanita Broderick, the statute of limitations already expired and she got nothing out of it. Kathleen Willey, they settled out of court because it was not expired yet. So No, it was just very interesting at that point. And by the way, Trump actually brought it up during the debates, one of the debates, how she's doing that. Like he pointed out the hypocrisy. So my point is that if I saw that Democrats had this history of whenever if they took these allegations seriously and didn't make excuses for their own kind,
we don't.
Then Bill Clinton. I mean, again, how do they not make excuses for Bill Clinton?
What was the evidence against Bill Clinton?
Well, first of all, the women saying so themselves, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, I know. We addressed that, but what's the evidence against Bill Clinton? Because I just discussed to you that when it comes to like a criminal allegation, we value evidence still. I don't know why you think the Democrats don't support evidence. So what's the evidence?
I mean, you could go through every victim. I don't know everything offhand, but I know, for example, I believe Kathleen Willey was also testimony, similar evidence to E. Carroll when it was. First of all, he had a history of doing this. I think nobody could dispute this. That Bill was like known for doing this all the time, especially he was a very charismatic person. And listen, he got his way. But
I don't like how you said that. It's strange.
No, I'm saying these things could have started off maybe in a more consensual way, but then obviously they could escalate to something else. Either way, but there was several other. I assure you, if you look into this, you'll see what I'm saying. There were several women. The notable ones were Kathleen Willey, Paula Jones, Juanita Broderick. She's still on Twitter, I believe, today, saying that if she's not, she hasn't been taken seriously. And I just think it's if I saw Democrats.
So you don't have any evidence, is what I'm hearing. Like you can't just because that's the entire ball game here. We're just asking. We're saying like if you have evidence against anybody, I don't care if it's a Democrat. If you have evidence, no problem. Hold them accountable. I don't care. I couldn't care less. I don't care if there's a D or an R next to their name. If you have evidence and you can prove it, no problem. Even if somebody has a little bit of evidence, right? Because a lot of these cases are tough to have evidence. Even if you have a little bit of evidence, I don't care. Hold them accountable. Even if you have no evidence and you want to have an investigation, I don't care. Hold them accountable. But that's not the Republicans' position. So the Democrats are open to justice for this stuff. The Republicans just aren't. And that's why I'm saying okay, well, you're saying oh, these people have accused Bill Clinton. And I'm not a Bill Clinton fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, oh, Bill Clinton's great. Oh, he's this. But if you can't even cite the evidence, then it almost makes it a moot point in the context of this conversation, no?
Okay, so, not necessarily, again, because my standard is, Democrats are the ones saying, the whole Me Too movement, feminism, and all that, they're the ones saying that women should be believed regardless if they have, actual evidence. But just based off their testimony of saying this happened to me, we have to believe them. But I just Googled, for example, Paula Jones. So it's actually very similar evidence to the E. Carroll. Said Paula, she had her own testimony. There was witnessing and supporting testimony. She named two women, Pamela Blackard and Deborah Ballantyne, co-workers who were there. It was a pattern of behavior, just like with Trump. They use that evidence against him, the Access Hollywood tape.
I don't think there's the same pattern of, okay, this is already a little bit, there's no parallel, I don't think, because a pattern of behavior, Trump is quite literally on audio admitting to sexual assault. I don't think there's any such case of Bill Clinton. And also, are you saying that this evidence is valid against Bill Clinton? Because then wouldn't you have to concede that the evidence then would be valid against E. Carroll? Or against Trump?
Oh, sure. I'll concede that they're both valid, 100%. I'll concede that. But then I just wonder, why are they talking the talk but not walking the walk? Why are they not holding the same standards for their politicians? And by the way, the case
we do. That's what the senator you were just talking about earlier stepped down after pressure from Democrats to do so.
Well, by the way, that senator, Al Franken, you're right. From the establishment, he was given pressure. I remember this. I know you're going to say comment sections are not an indicator. I think they had a poll, and most Democrats did not want him to step down. We can search that up. They did a poll, and I believe most Democrats, when they were asked, because they liked him, he was a well-liked person. Al Franken, do you want him to step down or not? I'm talking about the thought process that's behind it. The same people who were claiming, how can you vote for Trump? They were okay with Al Franken, and there was a picture of him doing what he did. If it was up to them, he would have. If he would have ran for re-election, I promise you, he would have got re-elected based on his poll numbers. Democrats didn't seem to care much. The establishment had a problem because back then the Me Too movement was very prominent. They said if we don't do something about this, it kind of makes us look like hypocrites. I will give them credit for that. They did force him out. He's still invited on these talk shows all the time to give his opinion.
It's not the Democratic Party, my man.
Okay, look, I'm not. I'm just saying when things are. I think assuming that Republicans do not care about these things at all? Just because
You don't.
I think
you obviously you don't. Like, here's the thing. If you have to do these, like, again, you're doing mental gymnastics to try to somehow make a connection or like a hypocrisy with the Democrats doing the same thing. If you have to do these gymnastics instead of just saying, yeah, you know, I think Trump is a bad guy and like I wouldn't vote for him, then obviously you don't, right? You care more about the politics and the optics. When we criticize Donald Trump for being an abuser, it's not political. We're not saying, like, we're not using this as like this is strictly a political argument. This is like a really awful thing for somebody to do. And the fact that Donald Trump did it is really, really awful. Not even like the Ron DeSantis thing. I think Ron DeSantis sucks as well. But the point is that the assault is not a decider for you. It's not a big enough deal in your eyes to be like, yeah, you know, I wouldn't vote for somebody who does that. So that's why it's like when you're trying to like go through these mental gymnastics to try to put the Democrats and the Republicans on the same level, it's never going to work given who your guy is. And given the fact that like Bill Clinton was president like 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, right? And the difference between Bill Clinton and Donald Trump is, do they both have accusations? Yeah. But one of them was proved in court to have happened and the other wasn't.
Well,
and
he actually, well,
go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. Bill Clinton actually settled with Paula Jones. He settled for $850,000. So he obviously, I'm assuming there's certain things he didn't want coming out over there. But I'm not
that's
even
not
talking
necessarily
about
true. Some people settle cases because it's an annoyance. They want to just get it over with, and they realize that dragging it out might be more annoying for both sides.
No, sure, absolutely. But that same reason they say that maybe Trump didn't want to give his DNA. He didn't want to give into this. He didn't just like.
That's such. Come on.
I wanted to ask
you
something
have
else.
to know. I'm happy to talk about something else, but you have to hear yourself when you say that Trump didn't want to give his DNA because he didn't want to play into this. He was going to court. He was going to trial, no matter what. The idea that Trump was not giving his DNA because he didn't want to play into it is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. He didn't want to give his DNA. And I can't prove this, obviously. But what happened, in my view, is that Tacoma, his lawyer at the time, I think his name was Tacoma, told him, don't give your DNA over, because Donald Trump knew that this happened. And if he would have given his DNA over, he gives E. Jean Carroll even more ammunition against him to prove that, hey, this guy said he didn't know me. He obviously did know me. His DNA is on the dress I was wearing that exact same day. And the idea that like you're somehow trying to put this on the same scale with Democrats, as I mentioned, is absolutely bonkers. But anyway,
well, even back to the case. So this trial happened in Manhattan. Okay, I live in New York. I don't live in Manhattan, but Manhattan, I think, voted, I believe, like 17% for Trump. And most of the jury, by the way, was from Manhattan or surrounding areas, which are very, very Democrat. I mean, the Bronx is very Democrat. Westchester is very Democrat. So no, I'm just trying to explain why.
Why does that matter?
Because obviously, I mean, Trump's a notable figure. And I know you're going to say, well, if they assume they had bias, I mean, you could be a juror and claim you have no bias and be a part of the case. So the idea is that if you're
face criminal charges?
No, I'm talking about this is a civil case.
Yeah, you can still, if you lie to be on a civil case, you still face consequences for that.
Right, but you can't prove necessarily bias. And I'm looking into these people. I mean, my point is that if you're a juror and they ask you, okay, do you have any bias? Do you have this? And you answer no, then they're still going to accept you as a juror. My point is that most likely, if you're picking people from that area, especially Manhattan, which was, if you had a Democrat on trial and he was in the reddest part of Kentucky or whatever it was, I think Democrats would also be like, okay, I mean, are these jurors, were they being, like, it wasn't like he was, so that's first off. I mean, he had jurors, which is in a very, very Democrat area.
But wait, pause for a second. Trump also picked this jury. And also, statistically speaking, if you're saying like, it was whatever, it was 17% for Trump, meaning that it was 83% for Biden or Harris, whatever election you're referencing, that still means that statistically speaking, there were Trump supporters on the jury.
I think the jury was 9 people, right? So, I mean, potentially, I guess one, you could say.
Yeah, statistically speaking, there would be at least one. And that's the same with his criminal trial as well. There'd actually be maybe more on his criminal trial. I don't know anyway, go ahead.
Well, he didn't actually, as far as I'm aware, he didn't pick the jury. He didn't object to it. Or his lawyers didn't object, but he didn't pick the jury. So.
No, yeah, his side helped pick the jury.
Okay, I could be wrong. As far as I understand, the jury was picked, and if his lawyers wanted to object, they could have, and I guess they didn't. But
no, that's not how jury selection works. You have you have voir dire when they all come in, and like the prosecution gets, or I should say the plaintiff in this case gets to ask potential jurors questions. The defense gets to ask them, and they come together and agree on a jury. They can like veto people. They cannot,
Right. Okay. I think my point with this is with the whole civil case. Again, it was not a criminal case; it was a civil case, and there's a lot of things there. And even if they found DNA evidence, by the way, again, it wasn't. If you met her once, and the fact that, by the way, she never filed a police report, right?
Doesn't
When it
matter.
happened. No, I understand, but I'm saying if you're wondering why somebody might doubt it, if a Republican might not necessarily agree, because they see it's already muddied waters when it comes to politics and who they want. It only happened again 30 years later. I'm just saying, like, if you really think that every Republican believes this is definitely 100% what happened, it's unfortunately the system has been abused so many times. That's what I was saying before. That by the way, the system was abused against civil rights people when that was not the culture back then. When they didn't like these people, they also used the system to come after them.
Okay, but this is it's such a bad comparison because we can now, and even back then, look at the evidence at the time and be like, yes, it's easy to agree that the system is being abused in a racist way, right? There's ample evidence for that. There's no evidence that the system has been abused against Donald Trump. So again, just because you say that Republicans believe this means absolutely nothing to me. It means nothing to me if they can't back it up with evidence.
Well, I mean, you don't think it's possible the system could be abused in a political way? Do you think, for example, Mar-a-Lago, when they said it's only worth $18 million, I mean, if it's worth $18 million, I'll find the loans and I'll buy it for $18 million. Like, no one actually believes it's only worth $18 million. That's like they're saying something which is. They said it's worth $18 million.
That was an evaluator in Florida who said that. It was worth between, I think they put it between 18 and 24 million because it's registered as a business and a club. So they value it based off of profit and losses and expenses that come with a business. Because they signed a deed saying that it can never be transferred back into a single family home. It is forever. That property, Mar-a-Lago, will forever be a club and a business. So that obviously comes with some costs. And that makes it less valuable than an next door neighbor who has the same amount of land and a beautiful house, but they can live in that house as a house. This is a business. This is an operated business. That's the way that valuation works in Florida. So when you say that is a valuator in Florida who came to this conclusion.
Well, I mean, they use it against him. But I don't know. Obviously, I don't know detail of everything.
No.
But
wait, hold on. They didn't use it against him. He inflated the value of Mar-a-Lago. That's what was used against him because that's illegal.
I don't know. I know a lot more about the E. Jean Carroll case. I looked into it. That one I don't know as much about, but I know that was something that a lot of people found odd. Just the amount it was
again valuable. That you found it odd because of misinformation. Like everybody was like, "Oh, the New York judge valued it only at 18 million." That was, first of all, not the New York judge, and second of all, that's how businesses in that specific area or clubs in that specific area are evaluated. So it's just like it's misinformation after misinformation. It's just crazy.
All right. Listen, I've already taken up a lot of time and other people want to speak up here. I appreciate the opportunity and always learn something. So it's always nice.
All right, man. Thanks for coming up. I appreciate it.
Yep. Take care. Bye.
I already see a funny message, man. Emily, thanks for the $2. Please do at least one more debate. I need entertainment while I smoke. Well, Emily, hopefully that debate satisfied the need. I appreciate that, Emily. Yo, Teddy, thanks for the $15, man. Been playing your lives while I get through the BO6 camo grind. Keeps me sane. Thank you. Hey, man, I know that can be a tough grind. What are you going for? Gold? Dark matter? What are we talking about here? I haven't worked on it enough yet. I appreciate that, though, Teddy. Thank you for the $15, man. Emily, thanks for the $5. Saying, give me a chance. Give me a chance. I already told my parents about us. Well, if you told the parents about us, then God, what am I going to do here? I appreciate you, Emily. Thanks for being here and thanks for your support. And tell the parents I said hi. Bren, thanks for the $5. Harry, I love that you keep the conversation going. MAGA constantly says we need to shut up and accept the results. What they don't get is the fight still continues. I'm so proud of you and we will not stop. Damn right, Bran. God, I love that energy, Bran. I love the energy you bring to that. Damn right, we're not going to stop. We're not going to just give up here. No matter how much MAGA wants that, MAGA wants us to just lay down and pretend it's all okay. And we're not going to do anything. Absolutely not. I love that, Bren. Deidre, thanks for the $5. You brought up Al Franken as some kind of gotcha against Democrats. I don't know about you, but I don't see him in Congress anymore or anybody storming the Capitol to put him back in Congress. Exactly. There's just quite literally just no comparison between Trump's conduct and anybody in the Democratic Party's conduct. Like anybody. I just think that's absurd. Rebecca, thanks for the $5. Please keep doing the lives. I appreciate you. Rebecca, I appreciate you too. We will continue the conversation. Absolutely. As I said, MAGA wants us to just pretend or just give up. You know what I mean? Just give up and whatever. But we're not. We stay in the fight. Shannon, thanks for the $4. Thanks for staying so calm while debating. I try. Sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes I'm not so calm given in certain instances, but, we try. Maxon, thanks for the $1. MAGA loves Trump's... I can't read that out, bro. Rachel, thanks for the $1. Sent you a message on Facebook. You got it. I appreciate that. By the way, it'd mean a lot. If you do have a Facebook account, it would mean a lot if you go follow my Facebook account, link in bio, because there's multiple people on Facebook impersonating me. So I'm trying to grow past those accounts so people actually recognize it's me, and these people will stop stealing my content, because all they do is take my tweets or my TikTok videos and just repost them on their page as if it's theirs. And it's really annoying for me. And they've tried to scam people before by selling them like crypto crap and cars and bikes and things like that. And I don't want anybody to get scammed. So it'd mean a lot if you could. And then, of course, go follow on the other social media platforms: Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Blue Sky. And what else do I have? That's it. Right. That's it. Jessica, thanks for the $1. MAGA doesn't rely on facts. They are ignorant. That's what I was trying to construe before, but I didn't realize I could do a longer message. Keep being amazing. I appreciate you so much. Jessica, you keep being amazing as well. All right. Chelsea. Fuck, I keep messing it up. Thanks for the 365. Here's what I have left in my Cash App just because. I feel like I should send that back. Yeah, let's send that back. What is it? 365? Let's send it. Let's send her 5. Let's just, add a little bit on top. Why not? We can help people, right? We can help people when we want, and when we can help people, we help people. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your support. Thank you for being here. It means a lot. You're very kind. You're very, very kind. I appreciate you. Wise Yes, thank you for the $50. Oh my God. Wise Yes, thank you so much. That's incredibly kind. Golly, thank you. I appreciate that. Can we get some W's for Wise in the chat? Oh man, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Wise. Thank you so much. W's in the chat for Wise, $50. There's no message included, but just understand that I appreciate you so much and your support. It really means the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you a million times over. That's incredibly kind. Thank you. Shaney, thanks for the $1. Handsome and intelligent. Thanks for everything. Well, Shaney, thank you for everything. I appreciate you being here. That's very kind. Elizabeth, thanks for the $5. Thanks for what you're doing. And Elizabeth, thank you for what you're doing. Again, thank you for being here. Just followed you on Facebook. You're the best. I appreciate you. Also, somebody in the chat just said they couldn't find me on Facebook. The link is in my bio. It takes you directly there. So I think that's the best way to find it. But it's just it's my usual. The profile picture is just me, like it is on my TikTok, like literally like identical to this one. The banner is me and Joe Biden. And there's nothing else in the profile picture. There's an account that impersonates me that has like a little purple circle on it. That's not me. That is not me. I wish I had Facebook on this phone because I'd pull up my account and show you which one is me, but I don't have Facebook on this phone, so I can't do that. But it doesn't matter. The link is in my bio. Point is, link is in my bio. And finally, on Venmo, Jennifer, thanks for the $2. Kindly refrain from mentioning... Fuck. Well, I probably should read the messages first, so I apologize, Jennifer. I won't read the rest of your first sentence because I didn't read it first. I apologize. But thank you for your unwavering... I really apologize. That's my bad. I should have read that first. It's annoying. Thank you for your unwavering transparency and honesty. Almost missed the bracelets tonight as they are on a different hand. Keep up the good fight. Yeah, you'll often see that I fidget with these, or I'll fidget. This is like I'm sure a lot of people have one of these. It's like a fidget toy. It's like a little like riddle kind of thing. It's fun. So sometimes I just do this. Just like, you'll see it. But I apologize, Jennifer, again. Damn it, man. I'm mad. Anyway, it's okay. I appreciate you. Jack and Piper's mom, thanks for the $5. I don't know how you're calm talking to these MAGA freaks. I want to throw my phone at least once every guest. I have some friends that watch these lives occasionally, and they tell me how they literally just want to like break their phones and how they're screaming at their phones during it. So I feel your pain. But listen, ladies, gents, boys, girls, everybody in between, I'm going to wrap up the live there. So guys, thank you so much for being here. I know many people might be sad about this, but we went live for 3.5 hours. Pretty solid Pretty solid, right? I know. I appreciate everybody. Thanks for being here, guys. I apologize for wrapping up the live now. But as I always say, I post on every social media platform. I post on TikTok, so make sure to drop a follow here on TikTok if you haven't already. We're 5 followers away from 600 for the night, so make sure to drop a follow. Let's try to get to 600 followers tonight. That really helps. It goes a long way. So drop a follow on TikTok. But I also post on every single social media platform. I post on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, Facebook. What am I missing? Snapchat. I think I said it already, but you get the idea. All of those links are in my bio. It'd mean a lot if you can go follow on all the platforms. But aside from all of the self promo, go raid these people. Isaiah R. Martin, I think, is live. Good Trouble's live. Pickles GG is live. Go show them some love. Any of these people down here, I'd recommend you go say hi to. And when you do join their lives, please say Harry Raid. Fill their entire chat. With Harry Raid, Harry Raid, Harry Raid, Harry Raid. I want to see the entire chat full of it. So make sure you let them know that we sent you. Let them know that we appreciate the work they're doing. And of course, I appreciate you. But guys, have a great Tuesday tomorrow if it's not already Tuesday for you. Wait, hold on. What? This is important. I don't know how to find bios. I'm old. Okay, so basically, if you go to like my TikTok page and you see like my profile picture and then the info and then there's like words in my bio, there's a link in there. There's like a darker link. If you press on that, if you press on that, you can find all of my links. But I don't even know. Maybe I can like, whatever. I'll try to like get a screenshot of my Facebook tomorrow to help people like better find it, because I really like these people impersonating me piss me off a lot. So anyway, aside from all that, have a great Tuesday tomorrow, everybody. Enjoy your Tuesday. Make sure you're rating these people. Go show them some love. As I said, go show them some love. Go let them know we sent you. The Facebook on the link tree isn't working. Oh my bruh. I'll go try to fix it if it's not working. Is it working for people? Sorry, I want to see if I followed the impersonator before you said that. Oh my God. I just used it. It is. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Anyway, I'm going to stop thinking about that for a second. Everybody, raid these people. Isaiah R. Martin, that's his username right there. Pickles GG is live. Good Trouble is live. All of them are amazing. All of them are great. Highly recommend you go raid them and follow them. Again, let them know in the chat. Say Harry Raid. Let them know that we sent you. Let them know that we appreciate them. But as I was saying, have a great Tuesday tomorrow, everybody. Enjoy your day, no matter what you have on deck tomorrow, whether it be school, work, or something else. Enjoy. Have a great day. You'll kill it. I know. And see some friends, family, loved ones, whoever you care about. Make sure you tell them that you care about them and love them. And I'm proud of you. Remember that you're working so hard in your personal life, and you're doing so well. You're doing way better than you expect. I hope you know that. You're doing way better than you give yourself credit for. So give yourself some credit. Treat yourself tomorrow. Get a smoothie. Maybe some ice cream if you're feeling even better. But anyway, all right, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. I appreciate you. And yeah, all right. We'll do this again sometime. Bye, everybody. We'll do this again sometime. Bye, everybody.